Like this. Hit it.
The Roger Report live morning show. Weekdays at 9 a.m.
Say y'all, I was on Roger's panel a few times and I couldn't take it. The heat. I got out the kitchen. It was hot. I was sweating. I had to get out.
He's Roger, and he's right.
Check this out.
We can live or die. You choose. I have spoken to you a lot of times in hatred and anger, and you have not heard me. Well, you had better hear me today. If you won't listen to me when I make an appeal for the Negroes because you have no concern for the Negroes, listen to me when I make an appeal for America. You claim you love America. Well, we love America. But you are driving us back and you are making a Samson out of us, and we are going to pull down the pillars. And then you think we have no right to ask for something? Is it too much to ask you to grant us human dignity? Should we be put down and shot to death for this request? If so, you can aim your guns. What the hell do you think we care about dying if you're going to deny us the right to live?
Good morning, folks, and welcome to another edition of the Roger Report Live, the best show on social media. If you are new to the channel, go ahead and take a moment out and hit that like button, because this is where you're going to find the best content on social media, and you don't have to worry about it because you're going to have me right here to make sure that happens. And if you already been coming to the channel for a while, then go ahead and hit that like button, because you already know what time it is. And you know that this is where you're going to get the best content on social media. It's not a mystery to you at this point. You've seen other people do it. You've even seen some people do it well. But what you have not seen is anyone do it quite the way I do it. So make sure you hit that like button. And everyone, yes, everyone, take a moment out to share the content, y'all. There are so many people who need to get great content like this, and it's just a small thing you can do to help the world be a better place. And isn't that what we want at the end of the day? Don't we want the world to be a better place? Of course we do. So share the content out. Share it through your social media. Share it through word of mouth, or even text someone's phone. But do what you got to do to help spread the word. All right, folks, we are back for another great episode of the Roger Report Live. It's going to be interesting because, again, that's the only type of episodes that we do over here at the Roger Report Live. All right, y'all, and I'm going to put out what needs to be put out so we can solve problems. Not saying that it's going to get solved just because I put it out here, okay? It ain't magic, y'all. It ain't. It ain't magic, okay? But I'm going to tell y'all, the main issue, okay? Yeah, I'm going to say this got to be pretty much the main issue when it comes to, people getting together and living the lives that they should be able to live. Black women are too old to date. Yeah, that's what it is, y'all. Black women are too old to date. Let that bounce around in your head for a second. But before we get started, and I give really explanation behind it. First of all, let me say shout out to the people who come through and give me views on a regular basis that make up the fam around here. Appreciate each and every one of y'all for what y'all do. And that's real talk. That's real talk. Shout out to each and every one of y'all. Shout out to the people who leave comments after the stream because, of course, y'all make things a little bit better. Okay, y'all help with that algorithm. Sometimes y'all even give me a good idea or two, So I appreciate each and every one of y'all. Shout out to the people who hype me up every chance they get, man. And you know what? You're a real supporter. You got at least hold one a week for me. I don't know how y'all be hyping people up, but you got to hold one for me. You got to at least do that one. And that's just real talk, okay? Shout out to Devin there, brother. He say something in the chat. And shout out to the people who come through and hit that like button, y'all. Make sure you hit that like button. There is never a wrong day to hit a like button. Okay, y'all, these different things, even if you weren't there for the live, you do it anyway, okay? If you somehow wasn't there for the live, you do it anyway because it's all going to help when it comes down to it, y'all. It's all going to help. So shout out to each and every one of y'all that does this. And I want to say shout out to some of the first people to check in this morning. Well, first of all, before I even get to that, I got to say shout out to the people who put a little money on the wood over here at the Roger Report Live, okay? We have a multitude of people who care enough to throw something at us, you know what I'm saying? And I appreciate every single one of you all big time. And I'm trying to make sure I give credit to each and every person who's done because all money on the wood is good at the Roger Report Live. Y'all hear that? All money on the wood is good at the Roger Report Live. And today I'm going to give a special shout out to Mr. Z. He is the sponsor of today's stream. And that's Mr. Z, Black and Effective. If y'all don't know what the deal is, okay. He's a great guy, been a great supporter. And, that's the homie. I'm going to say that, y'all. That's the homie, okay. Shout out to Mr. Z. I know he's probably doing his live right now, so maybe he'll hear this later. But shout out to Mr. Z. He is the sponsor of today's stream, and I appreciate that. Appreciate him big time. Excuse me. And it's great to get us, support. A brother not FBA, but been rocking with us solidly. Okay, not FBA, but he's been rocking with us solidly. See, you don't have to be FBA to help support the people of the FBA, especially if you're in a country where the FBA is the majority. And just as I said, we are in a different country. You got to hook up with the blacks over there, and we should be able to support them in whatever their major issues are. Okay, don't let white people tell you who you're supposed to support. You figure that out for yourself. Okay, and you do what's good for you and the people that you're gonna be rocking with, at least far from a proximity standpoint. Okay, so that's how you go about that if you want to do it the right way, and that's real talk. But shout out to Mrs. Z. I definitely appreciate the brother. But again, he is a sponsor of today's stream. All right. And now let me give some shouts to some of the first people to check in with us, but y'all know how it go. There can only be tags like that, but I think it's the second time. So shout out to the brother. Shout out to you. Glad to see you in the building. And shout out to Afro Merchant coming in right behind. Glad to see you, brother. Glad to see you. Floyd Thompson is in the building. Yay. Glad to see you at the cool table. We got I'm listening here. Good to see you, brother. Good to see you. Getmo is in the house. Glad to see you, brother. Glad to see you. Terrence Forrest Jr. is in the building. Great to have you, brother. My main man, Trail Bentley, is representing as he always does. Hashtag long live habitual line steppers. Hashtag Negroes in the wilderness. Hashtag dignity over vagina. Hashtag Al Gore's babies. Hashtag Hail Hydra. Shout out to you, brother. Shout out to you. The great Black Reset is coming through right after him. Good to see you. My favorite hater, y'all. My favorite hater. Boot Camp, what's good, my brother? Glad to see you. Micah Watson is in the house. Great to see you, brother. Great to see you. And y'all, we about to get into it. Okay? And I'm going to say, y'all, this is a general thing when it comes to Black America, y'all. And I know people may People may think Rod's gonna go in a certain direction and he about to attack a bunch of old ladies. Well, there's gonna be some yay and nay in there. There's gonna be some yay and nay. If y'all have been around long enough, people who've seen me, because I've lost a few different channels. So there's people who've been around long enough to know 30 is old when it comes to dating. It's that simple. You're a woman, 30 years old. You ain't got to like it. No man should look for a woman's permission on whether she likes that or not. 30 is just old for women. It is what it is. Because when we're trying to be with women, we're looking at different things, and childbearing is one of them. Now, a lot of people don't want to say it out loud because they're worried about reactions. But at the end of the day, childbearing is one of the major issues that men look for women, because we look to make families. And people aren't looking to make families with an old lady. It is what it is. We just ain't looking to make families with an old lady. Now, they can feel however they want to feel about it. Okay? The problem is not them feeling the way they feel. The problem is men care how they feel. Why should you care about a woman who decides on her own that she wants to be too old for you to have a real family with? Why are you so concerned with her? You can look good, yeah. Some black women, they'll go out their way. So when you see them at 48, 49, 50 years old, they want to brag how good they still look. They want to say, hey, well, I've been in the gym. That's something I've noticed. Social media shows a lot of great things. And, you go out and look at it in real life too. Okay. And you get an idea of, what's going on. There are some women, they be, like I said, 48, 49, 50, maybe a little older, late 50s, early 60s. Y'all know what they do? They'll go to the gym. And I find it very interesting that old ladies will go to the gym. And hey, ain't nothing wrong with going to the gym. And I get it. Some people just doing stuff because they have to be healthy. People may not come out and tell you, but some people may already be in a situation where a doctor done told them what they have to do. They don't even get a choice anymore. And it could be that way when you're in your late 50s or early 60s or something like that. The doctor already told you what you got to do. It ain't no joke for you. Doctor done told you, look, you got about 6 months to get this corrected, or you might as well start planning you might as well start planning for end of life. Now some of that will inspire them, and they'll, because they want to stay alive. They'll get healthier, look greater, and now they in the gym. It's just that you're old in the gym. Now it ain't like black men ain't wanted black women to go to the gym, because beauty is a big part of a woman. That face and that body gonna do something for you. Now it's gonna do something good or it's gonna do something bad. It is what it is. And seeing that most black women aren't married, for most of them, it ain't did nothing good for them. So it's obviously been doing something bad for them. So I know people gonna say, well, Rod, there's just a whole lot of black women who go to the gym. Enough for about 75% of them to be unmarried. That's how many go. Enough for about 75% of them to be unmarried. So yeah, you can argue what you want to argue. I don't even see no point in talking to me about it, because I don't control these women. I can't make them go to the gym, and I also can't make a man marry them either. Now, is the gym gonna be the end all be all? For a lot of them, yes. A lot of them, yes. Yeah, there are a bunch of black women out here who actually look good enough that if they just lost some weight, they'll get plenty of pay. It's that simple. The gym ain't the end all be on, blah, blah, blah. Now, for a lot of them, it is. All they got to do is go to the gym and get their stuff together. Okay. Now they're going to have to, change how they eat a little bit or whatever the case is. But yeah, that's the only thing really keeping them away from some guy who wants to make them happy. Yeah, a lot of them is just that simple at the end of the day. They not butt ugly women. You know, we ain't got to play this game like black women just butt ugly. They not. The gym is what they need. All right. Now, why am I saying black women are too old to date? Y'all, let's be realistic. Black women out here 18, 19, 20 years old. Are they dating or getting smashed? Let's be realistic, y'all. Are they dating or getting smashed? See, I talk to people and I ask them what's going on. Now, social media will show you some of this, but I'll talk to them because, hey, I'm a content creator. Why not? All right. So, yeah, I talk to some 18, 19, 20-year-olds, and they look at me funny sometimes because they like, what is this old guy? I'm saying that's probably what's going on in their head. What this old guy coming to talk to me about? You know what I'm saying? Which is cool. I understand that if it's, total strangers, I understand that. It's all right. But see, I'm not afraid to ask no questions. And you know what I see? I don't see folks going on dates. What I see is people setting times up to get smashed. Now, I can understand when you kind of young, people ain't got money for this, that. All right? Now, you'll have some folks a little bit older fronting on social media, but at the end of the day, a lot of young folks, they ain't got the money to go do certain things, okay? Or the only people who really got the money to do a lot of stuff, well, you'll probably see people who are like in the social media game. There are some very successful young people in social media, but those are people making money that most people ain't gonna make. So they don't really count. The average young people, they ain't got money to just throw away like that. They got stuff they got to do. So when it comes down to it, the younger women ain't really trying to date. A lot of them are trying to make a come up. Now, if they find the right guy that's an older man to them, and remember, just about everybody an older man to them when you 18, 19, 20, who ain't an older man at that particular point. So they'll try to make a come up with a situation. They'll listen to bad advice from older women who still ain't got no husband. Those type of things happen. And people start playing games about stuff for very long periods of time because nobody expects to be old. People want to be old, okay? But I'm going to say this, when it comes to women, what women do not expect, and I'm going to say any of them, and it's hard to say none of them, but in reality, if you pay attention, women have no expectation of being old. I'm not saying they don't get old. They have no expectation of being old. None of them expected to be the old lady in the dynamic of any kind. They didn't expect to be the old lady. You could find women who are in their 30s, 40s, and 50s and still ain't figured out that they're the old lady of the dynamic, whatever the dynamic is. Okay? Because they don't expect it. It happens every single year. But they don't expect it. And black women do believe that they're going to be youthful enough. They believe they're going to be beautiful enough. And they believe they're going to be young looking enough that they ain't never got to truly get it together. Now, I'll put a couple links in the description. Not saying they were the most powerful links, but I do want people to look at what was going on. Okay? You have women who never expected to be old ladies. All right? They go to that show, Pop the Balloon. I'm not saying anything bad about the show. It's cool, whatever. A lot of people done took interest in that particular show. You see some some interesting things because of that show. I'm gonna say that you see some very interesting things because of that show. But if you're paying attention, you can see the women don't expect to be old. They expect to come on there and believe or move as if they're the youngest thing in the world. They got all the time in the world, and people should adjust their lives to suit their needs. That's literally the mentality that the far majority come on there with. Okay, that's literally the mentality that the far majority come on there with. I'm a young, beautiful lady, and because I'm a young, beautiful lady, somebody gonna be willing to do everything for me. They gonna bend over backwards for me. Okay, and it's gonna be some guy with some money, some big money, and all he gonna want to do is pay attention to me. He ain't gonna pay attention to nobody else for real. You know, it's gonna be all about me. Now they seen the setup of the show. You could be the one woman picking the guys, or you could be the one, or you could be you could be part of one guy picking a group of the guy's picking out of a group of women. But they all expect to be the one. You know, none of them come on there looking to quote unquote lose, meaning go home with nobody. They don't have that expectation. Now I am not saying they shouldn't. I'm not saying they should have that expectation. It's fine to be confident in yourself. It is very fine to be confident in yourself, and it's cool to look for good results. Okay, it's very cool to look for good results. I ain't even mad at you for looking for good results, you know. But the thing is, they don't see themselves as a person who could run into a problem. Okay, Black women want to do everything late and then blame everybody else because they're late. Now, a lot of people say, "Well, what you mean though? Like, what's late?" Y'all, there's very basic things that go on. Very basic things that go on. And I'm gonna say this again because a lot of folks may not have heard it because I done lost channels before. Okay, when should a woman be married? The age is 22. And see, for Black women, you tell them that, most of them are gonna say that's too young. That's too young. Now, why do they say that's too young? Because they want to be hoes. Yep, a lot of them, they just want to be hoes. That's all it is. You ain't got to figure nothing out. You don't need no scientific survey, anything like that. A lot of them just simply want to be hoes. And if they get married, they're not going to feel right being a hoe while being married. That's their mindset. These are young women who've been raised by hoes in a lot of these situations, or young women who've been educated about relationships from hoes. Mom was a hoe, their auntie was a hoe, grandma was a hoe. You know, a lot of them was out there on the blade. And a lot of them gave up some behind because they needed a bill paid. My apologies, folks. My apologies. Had a technical difficulty there. Hit the wrong button. And shout out to Family Business. I haven't unlocked you yet, but I'm still trying to get a hold of you, man. I'm still trying to get a hold of you because I think I banned you by mistake. So shout out to you. I know you can't say anything in the comments right now, but if anybody can unblock them, please do so. And if they can't, I'm still trying to get a hold of you, brother. So just, hopefully by the weekend is when I really be able to do something about that. So hopefully by the weekend, I'll get you unblocked. So my apologies, brother. My apologies. Okay. Now shout out to Trail Bentley. He say, but Roger, they will miss out on dicks if they get married so young. Yeah, that's the truth. That is the absolute truth. And some of them been taught by their old hoe mama or they old hoe auntie, or they old hoe grandma that you don't want to miss all them dicks. You know, women say it all the time, and they'll say it in a way that, you know, we don't really pay attention to it like that, but I've brought it up before, and, you know, I'm going to bring it up again and again and again until it don't need to be said. Women will tell their daughters or granddaughters or nieces, you don't want to get married yet because you still need time to find yourself. Now, what do they mean when they say find yourself? They mean you need to go out here and have sex with more men. That's what you need to do. Go have sex with more men so you can see what it's like. You need to know what type of dick you like. You know? You don't know what love is. You ain't sucked but one dick in your life. You don't know what love is. Okay? Only one nigga's ever made you come. You don't know what love is. You know? And let's be realistic. This is the reality of it. Okay? You got young girls coming up, the ones who tried to be good, and they kept their virginity, or even, I'm going to say, somewhat close to their virginity, where they only been with one or two guys. They got old hoes telling them they need to get out here and jump on some old dicks. You can't possibly know what love is because you ain't been on no dicks. How you know what love is? I ain't never even seen you with 6 guys. How can you know what love is? So we got old hoes trying to get them well in the game. And what does that take? That takes time. So you're 22 and you're supposed to be married, but you ain't even think about marriage yet because you still trying to suck enough dicks. Because grandma said you need 10 more dicks to suck at least so you can find yourself. You know? Now, the women ain't going to put it out that plainly. Okay? The women ain't going to put it out that plainly, but that's what it is. Grandma said you need to suck at least 12 dicks so you'll know what to expect from a man, and you got to be able to compare this man to that man and all this other type of stuff. You know? And then you'll have women who they done been through all these different dicks, and then they decide they want them a good guy. Okay? But now they can't be satisfied because they're just used to multiple dicks. Now, people will make all kinds of excuses. Well, see, you know, she's not used to sex like this, or the other guy, he did sex. No, she used to multiple dicks. That's what it is. She don't know how to stay cool for one dick. She need 12. Because that's what her grandma taught her. You know? And then they get the same type of stuff or same types of information when they come to social media. You know? Y'all tell me, what are women being, well, I'm going to say black women, what are black women being taught from a general concept when it comes to sex? Especially when they learn from social media. Is anybody teaching them anything other than have a bunch of dicks? Do y'all see people teaching that? Okay, I ain't saying ain't somebody out there teaching different, but I'm saying for the most part, from general, what are they teaching black women to do? Because I see them being taught all kinds of ways to try to do this thing, to get this guy, and all of it leads to a new dick. You been struggling with men? Come be this way. We can get you some new dicks. Have you yet to be satisfied with the man? You're having complications? Well, come be this type of woman, and we can teach you how to get some new dicks. Okay? You tired of working hard? You need to be a little bit softer. Come try this soft girl life, and we can show you how to get some new dick. You don't know how to work with a man? Hell, we'll show you how to work with a man. Come over here, and we'll teach you how to get some new dick. So, I mean, girls being sold new dick on a regular basis, okay? They at least sold the ideal of new dick on a regular basis. So it is what it is on that note. Okay, shout out to Mrs. Z, the sponsor of the stream. Just walked into the building. Glad to see you, brother. Glad to see you. Okay. So now, again, marriage 22. That's when you're supposed to be married. And anybody who will say, well, that's too young to get married. Okay, so what is a woman supposed to go out into the world and learn that's going to help her be a better wife? Okay. A lot of stuff that she would be able to become a better wife is she ain't going to even want to take that job. Because being in you could go out here and learn to cook, work for a company that does cooking. You can go be an actual cook as an employee. And you know what? You can learn something that'll help you with your household. Okay. You can go work for a cleaning service and you can learn some techniques that you can use in your own household. Do y'all see most young women trying to be cooks? And do you see most young women trying to work for a cleaning service? Because you don't. Let's just be realistic. You don't. Which means they're trying to do a bunch of stuff that ain't going to help them when it comes down to their own families. Okay? It's sad to say you don't even see things where they could help that they even take as something to help. Because let's say if a woman was looking to be an accountant, now that could help with her household. But women been taught to have their own and even hide stuff from your husband so much that even in something like that, they're not going to help their household with it. The more a woman learns about money, the more she'll probably hide money from her husband. That's the sad part. The more she learns about money, the more likely she is to hide money from her husband. Now you think she got a school, she went to school and got something that could bring value to the household. And she don't even want to bring that value into the household. No, she want to start setting up for when I get away from this nigga. That's her mindset. I'm with him from now, but I got me a skill. So when I get away from this nigga, I'm going to have this and I'm going to take this from him. I'm going to take that from him, so on and so forth. And at the end of the day, they cannot blame themselves for what they do. So they got to blame men for the stuff that they do. So what they say, well, the problem is men ain't ready for marriage. Men, even by their own lies, y'all, even by their own lies, they'll say, a man proposed to me 3-4 times. 3 is a big number we found out amongst black women. Most black women can't say they turned down 1 proposal. They say, I turned down 3 proposals. Because saying you turned down 1 man for marriage ain't enough. That's not embarrassing enough. Because they want you to think, automatically you're going to think it was a black man. So I want you to know 100% for sure, I didn't turn down marriage from just 1 guy. No, I turned 3 of you niggas down. See, she go on that high horse. I turned down 3 of you niggas. That's what I did. Now, I'm not supposed to act like the issue for black women is they too old. Number 1, the first wife shouldn't be 30 and above in the first place. As a man, why should you have to marry some woman who's 30 and above? That don't even make sense. But that's how black women are tracking. I don't want to get married till I've used up my options. I don't want to get married until it seems so bleak that I don't know what I'm going to do. And a lot of them, they do believe what I had at 24, I still got it at 54. Now I'm going to say, shout out to this woman in this picture. It's just a picture, y'all. Just a picture. Okay. But a lot of women are at this stage of life, but they still think they 22 years old. Okay? They still thinking like they 22 years old. They have no idea that this is what we're seeing. Okay? Shout out to Auntie Benya Business. Okay. Interesting name. I guess it's a she because it's Auntie. She said, "You are spitting. Definitely like the stream and will share." Okay, well, shout out to you then. Shout out to you. All right. Well, somebody got to keep it real. Somebody got to keep it real. So we got a bunch of sisters, y'all, that was taught to just plain old be hoes from Jump Street. And they're doing this when they're 18, 19, 20. Then we got a bunch of people who say 21 and above. They think they going to suck them in and they trying to take advantage of these men and they ain't really taking them seriously. They trying to see if they can, quote unquote, finesse themselves a multimillionaire. All right. And truth be told, there's always this thing in the background where a bunch of black women do want a white man. So they trying to keep themselves open for this white man too. And all this stuff falls apart. They get to about 34, 35, 36. Now I just want some nigga to pay my bills. I don't want love. Okay. I don't even necessarily want a kid. Some of them, they 36 years old, they don't even want a kid because they selfish and they want to spend money on themselves. Okay. They want to spend money on themselves. And okay, a lot of them already got kids. So guess what? 36. Now, at 36 years old, you are officially a UOF, y'all. Okay, people, you know what I'm saying? I did not say UFO. A UFO is hard to see. Okay, that's hard to see. But that UOF, they everywhere. The unwanted old feminist. She was too good for men. She didn't want to hit none of that stuff. She a straight feminist. And she ain't trying to listen to no man. She ain't trying to work with no man. She ain't trying to cooperate with no man. But now I want a nigga to pay my bills. Okay. Now, shout out to D Jones. All right, appreciate that. D Jones R&B. Okay. Shout out to you. That's Mr. Deron Jones right there, y'all. Appreciate you, brother. Glad to see you, Black. Well, I'm going to say glad that you found me again. They be taking my channels. I'm glad you found me again. He said, "Man, I was in the comment section and I said women don't aspire to be wise, and I got cussed out. Laugh out loud. She even insulted my singing abilities. Woo! Now you know that's cutting hard and deep when they start saying you can't sing. That's cutting hard and deep right there. Oh, they told you can't sing, huh?" Now I'm gonna say that's extra funny to me, brother. That's just extra funny to me because you and your peeps helped me a whole lot when I was a young man. So to say you can't sing that's just going above and beyond the Call of Duty on trying to insult somebody, man. So you can't, okay. Yeah. I guess if you can't sing, I can't even talk. They steady taking my channels, but I guess the stuff I say ain't no good though. That's crazy work. That's crazy work right there. That is absolutely crazy work. Real talk. Okay. But let me get your moderator status back. Let me get. All right. Y'all heard that now. Y'all heard that. Even he can't sing. That's something else right there. Now, see, the thing is, you start telling women the truth. Yeah, they gonna throw some stones. They're gonna throw some sinks. They're gonna throw all kinds of stuff, especially proverbially. They willing to throw everything. Okay. But when it comes down to it, they not taking stuff serious the way we as men take stuff serious, which is why I definitely would say you never waste too much time on some random hoe who gonna act out of pocket. All right, now I do have a guest up, y'all. I do have a guest up, okay? Now, I'm gonna tell y'all right now, I don't know how this is gonna go. This is gonna be his first time here, so I'm gonna say, first of all, welcome to the show. Okay. Now, if you don't know, and I'll say all the rules momentarily, but just so you know, as I bring you on stage, you have a 2-minute opening statement that you are allowed to make. You can go anywhere you want to go with your opening statement. Okay. But you got 2 minutes to, give us your feel on today's subject matter. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and let them up. All right. Y'all, we're introducing Jack Link. Okay. Jack Link, you got the mic. Go ahead, my brother.
Yo, what's up, man? I mean, look, I'm gonna just keep say it like this, bro. I mean, as far as like the dating thing and black folks, man, like everything we do as a people is kind of like out of whack in terms of like out of timing. And so you're right on that. A lot of the problems that we have is because we don't do things in the right order, like Kevin Samuel said, and on the right time for the right reasons.
All right, now I gotta ask this just for clarification purposes. Are you black or are you something else?
Black.
Okay, because it's your first time here. That's all. Go ahead.
No, that's it. That's all I have to say.
That's it?
I mean, pretty much it's just like we don't do things for the right reasons at the right time. So that ties into, what you're saying.
Okay.
It's like a lot of the stuff, like most people. This is not just a black thing, to be honest. It's a modern thing. But the thing about black folks is that we take everything to the extreme. Most people don't understand that they are like, I want to say like ranges in terms of age and stuff that you want to do. Like the way I see it, like, and it's different for men and women, right? The guy who did Shanghai Nights, Russell Wilson, I think that's his name, whatever his name is, white dude, actor, multimillionaire, whatever. He's 51. Owen Wilson, one of those guys, I can't remember the name, Owen Wilson, whatever his name is. He just had a baby at 51. I know he's 51, so you probably check up on this. But he's a rich dude. When you got millions of dollars as a man, you could have a kid at 60, put like $10 million in a trust fund, college paid for, and all that stuff. But for females, it's different. We live in an upside down world now.
Okay. Well, do you have any ideas as far as what we could do to quote unquote correct these things? Because you saying it's wrong. So what's the correct way to go about it? Okay.
I mean, from a black perspective,
this station is Timonium Fairgrounds.
From a black perspective, honestly, the situation that black folks are facing now has to do with fixing the economic problem first. Then you fix the social problem second. Then you can get to the third part, which is like the other stuff. Because the problem with black folks now is black folks are economically collapsed in the U.S.
Okay, so you don't want anything fixed because
no, because I don't want anything fixed.
No. Hold on now. We got to be realistic. You can't fix an economic problem until you fix a social problem. It's not gonna happen. Because what do economics involve? What people do socially. I'm just saying, being realistic. This ain't rocket science.
No.
People do socially affects economics.
No. What I'm saying is, bro, this is the problem, bro.
But no.
We don't know.
We are doing the show, and I don't know where you're trying to go, but we deal with stuff that's related to the subject time. Because to me it sounds like you want to go somewhere else. I'm not saying that, but I don't know you because it's your first time here. But we got to stay somewhat in the realm of the subject of the show, just so you know.
Yeah, so you can't fix this problem without fixing the money.
You can't fix without fixing the money? Is that what you said?
Yeah, so you can't fix the problem without fixing the money first, because It's like imagine somebody's addicted to something, right? Let's say they're addicted to something, maybe it's cigarettes or whatever. It's way easier for you to quit if you're not under stress. No, it's just the problem is, man, black folks, we as a people, we don't understand, we don't really know we're not really aware of our true social and economic position in the country. So a lot of us have these ideas of what we can do that's completely outside the realm of reality. And I'm not saying I don't encourage people to do stuff, but I think what happens with us a lot of the time is we hallucinate what we're actually capable of doing on an individual basis. I'll give you an example. So I have black folks.
No. Hold fast right there, because I got two more guests in that I got to get at. So just hold your thoughts. You'll be allowed to come back into the conversation, but I got to get these two other guests in as well. So because we definitely gonna hear you out. All right. Well, Inspired Truth is in the building, and Mr. Z, the sponsor of today's stream, is in the building as well. So Inspired Truth, you got it. 2 minutes, my brother.
All right. I hope everybody's having a terrific Tuesday. Peace to the panel, peace to the chat. Shout out to you, Z. I saw that you had Tupac up there. I have him in like my opening on my live stream for most of my live streams.
Yeah, I love that sound clip from him. I went searching for that one.
It's a good one. I like it. All right, so here's what we have here. I see like about 3 different things going on here. Like, first of all, we have the ladies that are being what I call anti-elders, like the opposite of elders, like they're rejecting both age and wisdom at the same time.
I'll be back.
And then so they're rejecting both age and wisdom at the same time, and then they're kind of passing on that anti-knowledge to the younger ladies behind them. The other thing that you have going on is reputational destruction. So they're trying to protect their reputation, and by doing so, they end up basically kind of like cutting the knees off of other people, because when you choose to be low down, you got to chop the knees out from other people so that you can stand tall. So we have that going on. That kind of like ties into basically using the black male image as the dumping ground of America. Everybody else kind of looks at it as like a blighted property. They throw the trash on it, and that includes, sadly, a lot of black women as well. And then finally, we have that video that we were watching where we see this kind of retconning of reality where, your past doesn't matter. Everything that you came across in your prior relationships and in your prior history doesn't have any impact whatsoever. That's kind of whole logic for the most part. Like, what you came across in the past doesn't matter. There isn't like some magical reset that puts you back to zero again. Like, what you came across matters, and what you bring to the table matters. And that's why he asked that question. So I'm going to leave it at there for now. And maybe I might have some time to circle back.
Okay. All right. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. And I'm gonna say shout out to you for that. The cash app. You dropped the cash app yesterday. I don't remember if I said it on air or not. So I just want to make sure I acknowledge it. I'd rather acknowledge something twice and not acknowledge it once. That's for sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Good deal.
All right, Mr. Z, you got it.
And thanks for having me up, Raj. And thanks for the shout out. Yeah, I've been riding out with ADOS FBA for the longest. So yeah. And thanks for the shout out to Inspired Truth. Okay, let's address this way. And I'm gonna circle and include what I think the brother was trying to say. First, you have to start off with Raj is right that economics is a social science. So off top, Raj is right because economics is a social science. And I'm gonna tie that into much of what we see with the ladies in this Arrested Development and this kind of foregoing of adulting. So let's do it like this. Average age of your first time home buyer is 40 years old. Average home price, 500, a little bit over 500,000. Median home price right now is sitting at 410, right? So there's that. Second, the women are sitting on copious amounts of student loan debt, right? We know Black women still are in insane student loan debt well a decade after they graduate college and university. We know that for 40% of Americans, they can't afford a $500 emergency. For about 60% of Americans, they can't afford a $1,000 emergency. It's only worse when you include Black people, especially Black women. All right. Because of melanin, Black people tend to age slower. Than you add on to that, because when we're ashy, um, um, it's more visible because of our darker hue. So we put on lotion, which only extends us aging gracefully and slowly. So the melanin plus the lotion and the chemicals in the lotion, right? You double that for Black women. So what you're dealing with here is a goddamn Frankenstein monster of a child in a adult woman's body. So Raj, I covered something similar to this about a week ago, maybe a little over a week ago, with a 52-year-old Black woman who was outside, and she's telling everyone how she's not going to pay for first dates, how she's not going to be spending money on whoever is attempting to date her. As a 52-year-old, you're not supposed to be dating at 52, unless, of course, widow or widower or something along those lines, or if your wife divorced you because you're a Black man, and of course she's going to divorce you because you're a Black man, right? Now, going to what we see here in the Pop the Balloon clip, you see a bunch of women over the age of 30 still talking like 20-something-year-olds, teenagers, about how the past doesn't matter. This is something they want to convince you of, Black men, right? All of this is childlike behaviors, feelings, thoughts coming from adult-ass women, right? They are too old to be dating, but seeing that they're dating, they're not following the rules. There's even rules to breaking the rules, everyone. Okay, you're an over 30-year-old UOF. Shout out to the Roger Report, right? What is it? Unwanted feminist, right? Old, right? Unwanted old feminist, right? You're UOF. And you're not even following the rules to breaking the rules. You're 30 some odd, 40 some odd, 50 some odd years old, talking about you're not going to be buying PS5s. Yes, you will. You're not going to be putting gas in cars. Yes, you will. And if I drive a Tesla, you better let me hook up this goddamn cord to your damn EV socket, to your socket, right? There's a put in there, right? So it's going to happen. You want to know why it's going to happen? Because this is the cost of you being 40 and 50 years old in the goddamn dating scene. And you might not be dating. You might just be miss-situationship, and you better get comfortable with it, because you're not supposed to be out here at 53, 55, 48 years old. Right? I'm just, let me button this up. The reason why I brought up the economics earlier was to say I appreciate that as almost about to be 40-year-old millennial. I get it, right? But there's still rules to breaking the rules. If the economics are crap, there are still best practices in this crap ass environment that we all appreciate. The economics and inflation is kicking everybody in the ass. There are still ways to make this a bit easier on yourself. And the women are just not adhering to any of it. And so they get what they get. And being 50-something-year-old, 40-some-odd-year-old, 38-year-old on Pop the Balloon is the cost of the ladies not following what Black men are saying, which is getting on our program and marrying us when we're still building and viable. All right, Raj, that's my intro, and thank you for the extended intro. I would just assume that's because I'm the sponsor of today's show, and thank you for that also.
Appreciate it.
Let me capitalize on what you just said there, because you said that there's
before you say it, Mr. Z, give me about 5 minutes. You in charge till then, okay? Y'all give me about 5, maybe 7 minutes to get right back. Mr. Z is in charge. We got 2 new guests in. Go ahead, Inspire. Of course, I'm still be listening.
All right. So here's the thing. You mentioned that there's rules to breaking the rules, and that rule to breaking the rule is power. That's what the actual thing is. And we kind of jumped the shark on feminism. We don't have feminism anymore. What we have is female superiority or female supremacy. That's what we actually are experiencing. So like, that's a part of why nothing is actually serious. Nothing actually matters. It's not just purely on like the relationship dating type of end of things. Like you saw that case with the Nigerian guy that got basically like murked by the OF model. Like she's over there like clowning in the courtroom because she knows she's not getting like real consequences for real. Like it's like 60% less time that women get compared to men when they're facing criminal convictions. So we have a whole structure that doesn't even know how to deal with the mismanagement because we've existed in a world where there was some male leadership that policed things internally in-house. And we don't have that anymore.
And
So that's
go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. So I was just saying that's an additional perspective to add to all of this.
And before the next brother go up, I'll say this to that. That is much of what you're saying. You said power. I'll say structure also. The lack of structure is how you get this. If everything is freestyle and everybody's doing whatever they want to do, then there are consequences to that, ladies. And maybe some of the consequences is you being 50-something years old, still trying to thirst trap. Shout out to Tracy Ellis Ross. All right, go ahead. Who's that? Can't you barely see the screen. I'm sorry about that. And that is bad black gamer. You're up next. Okay. Oh, there you go.
Hey, what's up, fellas? Hey, salutes to Roger.
What's going on with you?
Hey, salute to you, Z. Mr. Z, and salutes to the show and everybody in the chat. I just got a couple things to say. I see a lot of women now online and on social media talking about they want to be courted, and they're like 40 years older. 40 years or older. Don't they realize that courting is actually for young women that are trying to get married? Like, if you're 40 and you're trying to court now, you want guys to court you. Ain't that kind of like being like a 40-year-old black guy like Roger talking about they want a rap career? If Roger came out and said like, "Hey, I'm trying to get my rap career going," everybody look at him like he's crazy, right?
Bad black gamer. Imagine this: a 46-year-old with 3 kids from 2 different dudes talking about she want to be courted now.
That's all I see. That's literally all I see. Like, you go on like any type of application or these dating apps, it's filled with a bunch of women over 40 will already got their kids talking about I want a guy to court me, but I don't want to have no more kids because I already got my kids. Like that's crazy as hell to me. But if a black man said at 40, I'm trying to get my rap career started, they'll look at him like he's crazy, right? Yeah. So I mean, it don't make sense. It don't make logical sense. I think the older women have been telling these young women wrong. Courting is for when you're young and you're trying to get married and you got something to offer, like your womb. You know what I'm saying? Your unused womb. It's not for people over 40 that already got 3 kids and ain't trying to have no more kids and ain't really trying to build with a man. So I'll land my plane there.
Brother, you ever play with Legos? You ever built anything with Legos?
Absolutely.
Okay. And so when you're building with Legos, you place in the blocks certain ways, especially if you're trying to build a building. There's the structure. You're doing something with these Legos, right? You're not just throwing the Lego back on the floor and just hoping that it magically ends up looking like the Empire State Building that you're trying to build or something. What we have are a bunch of children that do not appreciate that there was a reason why it went the way it went, why there was marriage, preferably to a younger woman, right? Why there was then the children, why you built with that man. They appreciated this because what you were building was the family unit. Then what you were maintaining was the family unit. What you were building also was a space for your grandchild to have somewhere and have a name that you and then your children built for that grandchild to then enjoy, right? And what you have now, a bunch of people freestyling, doing whatever they want to do, women, and then hoping that it turns out the way they need it to turn out at the end.
Well,
without following none of the rules.
They waiting to get to the finish line. They're waiting for you to get to the finish line, try to win at the finish line after they already they don't roll the cock carousel. You know what I'm saying?
I can't put this house together. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
There's another part of this that the people aren't seeing. It's a new type of mating strategy too, where all these chicks, they get with all the dangerous dudes or the bad boys when they're young, because they want to have those dudes kids and then settle down with the cleanup man. Whereas you know what I'm saying? So because they can't, women can't tell the difference all the same traits that make a dude the hero can make him the villain. You know what I'm saying? You can confidence for a good dude can be arrogance in a bad dude. You know what I'm saying? But they're so dumb that they can't tell the difference. So when they're young, they want to get with the aspiring rapper or the bad boy or whatever. And they want to have his kids at 22, 23, 24. Then when they're 30 and 32, 33, then they want one of us to swoop in and save the day, move into our house and not get any children or any of that stuff. So this is kind of a new mating strategy for them. And guys fall for it every day, man. You cannot fall for this. You never want to be the cleanup man, ever.
Well,
Can I offer you a different? Go ahead. I'll go after you. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say that they also got, like, because of social media, they got guys that they normally think they're qualified for, but they're not qualified for, hopping in their DMs, and then they sleep with them like a celebrity or somebody like that, and they think they can get that type of guy now to marry them, when all they can do is get them to sleep with them, and they don't understand the difference. Or they probably do. It's delusional.
And the reason why that's a thing is because you're not supposed to be doing none of that, because you were supposed to be married by the age of 24, 25, 28, 30 at the absolute latest. And shout out to the Roger Report, right? So what ends up happening, and this is how, if you're not fighting back against the system, this is how it's being framed, right? Our parents and our grandparents and great-grands, you adulted walking in the door with your spouse, and y'all grew together. Y'all built together. Y'all built the family together. Your wife lost her job, got another job. You lost your job, got another job. Y'all went through the ups and downs of life together. Y'all were walking into adulthood together. That's why y'all were getting married at 19 and 22 and 24 and 25. The way the system is being set up that people aren't fighting against, especially not everyone who's not black men, is you're supposed to adult and get all your ducks in a row and damn near be perfect, and then get married. And what you're finding is, outside of the top quintile of folks, or the top 20, 25% of folks who are still getting married in their 20s, right? Everyone else is either not getting married or getting married way later, because adulting is taking that much longer. This is also allowing for women to become even more jaded than they would have been already, have all these weird experiences, right? Set their air quotes standards bar to delusional land, because they're not getting tempered by reality in their 20s. They're having all of these experiences, mainly frivolous triple X bedroom fun, in their 20s and 30s, and then looking to settle down, if you're lucky, black women, mid 30s and above. That you can't, you're too jaded. You've done had too many experiences. You done had too much frivolous stuff. You done gave the Gog 3000 and right on the 18th floor too many times. Go ahead.
Listen, how you supposed to settle when you've been with like a guy that's rich, super rich? You know what I'm saying? Like one time, or you've been with the biggest penis you ever seen in your life. You know what I'm saying? How you supposed to settle with a guy? That when you've been with so many guys like that,
you've been hyper exposed. If you've been on the passenger side of the $150,000 Benz S Class, and you've also done the fun time, like I was saying, in the penthouse of the hotel, and you've also been with Sexy Flexy and Body Beautiful, and now you're looking to air quotes settle down at 42 years old or 38 years old, or God forbid 52 years old. I agree with you on that, Bad Black Gamer. You've been just too hyper exposed. I just don't see it happening. Go ahead.
Yeah, so feminism's made this hyper egalitarianism, right? Because I was born in the 80s, right? And back in the 80s, the 90s, the pretty girls knew who the pretty girls were, the mids knew who the mids were, and the biggins knew who the biggins were, right? But the biggins and the mids knew that they used to have to overperform to try and compete with the hot girls, right? So they would be the cool chick who would go to all your football games, or they would be cool, right? They would cook and clean, and you know what I'm saying? They were cool. Now the internet says these biggins and these mids look at like the hot girls and we're all just women, so why can't I get the same outcome?
AJ, I gotta interrupt, and I'm sorry about that. Here's the problem. Your NFL players are in Lizzo's DMs. Usher is out here smashing big girls on the low.
Chris
Hey,
Brown couldn't
me
even on stage.
and Chris Brown's baby mama is a mid-ass Latina. That's why the ladies think that because the goal is to get prego by one of these guys. That's the goal.
Yes, but
They forget the relationship. Go ahead.
But that leads back to the whole they can't tell the difference between attention for relationships and for sex. That's another thing.
They can tell.
Go ahead, Raj. Wait. I'm sorry, AJ. Raj, go ahead and tell me that Usher didn't smash the big girl. Go ahead and say it because he did.
Because he what? You said
I said because he did. I said go ahead and tell me Usher didn't smash the big girl because he did.
Did Usher confirm this?
He didn't. He didn't say no.
If Usher didn't confirm it, man, I ain't trying to hear it. I mean,
we both know he did it. We both know he did it.
I would say
Why
this.
wouldn't he?
I would say this.
You're right.
Usher has so much access to so many women. He might have did it on some. Let me just see how it is.
Yeah,
That's a possible thing. Because I've said before, I tried to smash a big girl. It just didn't work out for me. That's all. I tried though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I'm gonna say this.
Did you try hard enough? Did you try hard enough, sir?
I did the exact right amount. Because if it would have went down, she would have been on my record. So I don't have to worry about that now.
Tell
So
everybody, I was with Roger. I know what it looked like.
So I ain't. Well, she can say she know what it looked like. She can't say that. You know what I'm saying?
Like, God damn it, that's why you say no, man. Like, you know what? That's why you just got to turn some of them down, boy. Because even in the moment, boy, you be in your worst moment, right? You feeling it. You're like, golly, boy, it's been like 40 years. Man, this big motherfucker, 400, 4'1".
Not so damn.
Little bowling ball.
That's a Humpty Dumpty.
You got the
like,
forklift in the house.
That's a busted biscuit can.
Well, let me say this though, because my thing is this, y'all. I mean, as men, and I need men to understand this, we try to put logic in the stuff that don't make sense, so it feels better for us.
Mm-hmm.
Most women ain't never been with no rich guy, and that's just the reality. Rich people, when we talking about these people in the celebrity world, see, we see them on TV all the time. Now we have social media. We see them on social media all the time. These people don't even really exist. If you think about the percentage of celebrities we have in this country and compare that to the number of people we have in this country, you're not even closing on a 0.00%. They don't really even exist.
Let alone a doctor or a lawyer or just anybody with any type of influence or affluent people. That is just a reality. My man said it earlier. He said, hey, when we was young, right, we wasn't focused on all of that. We were focused on, hey, I'm going to get somebody. We was young. We weren't thinking about trying to put it together and everything got to be A+ before we get together. We got together as we were and we built and we grew and we made it work. Right. We said that we were adulting way early, I think is what he said. And he's right. And it worked out. In some cases, it worked out. In some cases, maybe not. But I think that's just what life is. And we put too much pressure on I think us as people, just colored people. We got to be this Superman people, right? This X-Man people in order for things to be right. And it really ain't the men. I think it's the women. It really is. Because listen.
That's why I was going into the fact that number one, we got to let this idea go that they've been with these quote unquote incredible men because they haven't been. You can't even meet these people.
Even the narrative of the big woman, Roger, like she's still a woman, she still can procreate. I mean, we sitting there joking. I'm being real, but yeah, she might not be the most appetizing, and that's another thing. Men want this certain aesthetic, right? And every man want that certain aesthetic.
What I'm saying is we factor in stuff that does not matter because it doesn't really exist. We'll factor in these women have access to celebrities. They don't. If y'all actually have ever met a celebrity, talked to a celebrity, or been any place close to their world, celebrities have handlers. And
Most
so do rich people.
I've been around, they got regular broad.
And so do rich people. No, I'm not saying 1 out of a billion can't get in there. And I'm saying 1 out of a billion on purpose. Because in reality, I mean, we just take America alone. You know what I'm saying? You got over, 360 million people who live here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's say you got 10,000
8 billion people planet.
Okay. Let's say you got 10,000 celebrities, but you got about 360 million people. Everybody ain't sleeping with everybody. They ain't met nobody. And a lot of rich people, whether they're celebrities or not, they actually start doing things to keep people away from them. They don't say it like that, but that's what they do. I moved in this neighborhood so you niggas
For a
can't
reason.
get me. My kids are in this school, so your kids ain't with them. We go to these particular locations and we lock it down so you people can't get access. So the average woman ain't got no access to no celebrity, no rich guy, no nothing.
But here's
And
the
that's
thing,
the reality. We
When-
make this argument because we're trying to figure out why they not messing with us. That's the mentality people have when they make that argument. The issue is we have an entire society just about telling girls that you are too young. And by the time they catch a clue on what they need to do for themselves, they're now too old. That's what the problem is. It's not that I was pursuing some woman and she was messing with Deion Sanders. That didn't happen. You know what I'm saying? That's something a guy is saying to make it sound okay for him. You know, and at the end of the day, you know, like the gentleman was saying earlier, you know, what you said, they don't know what they're doing. They know exactly what they're doing. You cannot have an accident at these levels of numbers, and all this stuff is unintentional. When women have sex with guys, like I was saying, the guy who's trying to be the rapper, and I was one of those guys, you know what I'm saying? And they definitely would give it to me. Why? Because in case I make it, I want to have that nigga's baby. That's all that was. It wasn't they stupid. I want his baby, so in case he make it, he'll start having to pay me $10,000 a month, $20,000 a month, $30,000. That's all that was. That it's not about they doing stuff with this new strategy. Women have always tried to have sex with the man they think gonna have the money. That ain't never been there.
Positioning.
You go
That's
through history. That's
always going
always
to
been there.
position. That's
when it comes
positioning.
to these conversations that we have here, there's a big difference with men. I mean, so men, when we argue from the relationship space, we often argue from the average dude, from the viewpoint of the average guy, the guy that's working, you know what I'm saying, making decent money or whatever. Women always argue like they're the top chicks.
No.
Have you noticed this? Like they're the 9s, the 10s, they're that small percentage that's making money and that they're the boss bitch. They all identify with that. They all think that they're the Kim Kardashians or whatever, to where you can't even really have a conversation. You're like, well, you might think that all these women are outperforming us, but that's a small percentage that are actually A, in shape and pretty, and then B, can actually out earn us. It doesn't make any sense. But that's the stance they always take in an argument. When 94% of them are not
bro. That's the argument that most men, like you're doing even today, y'all argue that too. Y'all argue from a woman's perspective because your perspective means nothing to you. You always arguing about what some women want, how some women see it. You can't fix nothing. The only thing you focus on is what they want. Number one, you're the man. If you get with any woman 9 times out of 10, you're going to pay for her. She's not going to pay for you. So why you care what some women want?
Well, that's the thing about a lot of these conversations is that it is teaching men to center women. And that's the number one thing that a man can do to be successful is decenter women. Like in the red pill space, the manosphere space, there's a whole chunk that basically says you got to do everything.
Hold on. This the black manosphere. Do not confuse us with the manosphere.
Okay,
that's a bunch of I'm saying this because I want it on record. The manosphere is a bunch of white people, a gang of white men, and what we cannot do, and it's never smart to do. If you're a black man that knows anything about America, politics, or anything going on with this country, the last thing you need to do is associate yourself with a bunch of white men that you have no control over. That's the last thing we need to be doing. But go ahead and make your point.
Yeah. So one of the issues with the main manosphere, right? And this is me critiquing these white dudes, and they drive their Bugattis and their supercars and all this crap that they're basically telling young boys the reason to do everything is for women, and that can lead you to the path of peril. I'm not saying this because this is a different space. I'm acknowledging that. But what I'm saying is that when people have these conversations outside of this space, these young boys are being taught a woman is the motivation for everything, and that's why these conversations in other places go completely wrong.
I'm gonna say that's an interesting thing. I don't listen to them, and I just recommend you don't.
Yeah.
From a general rule, and I'm not saying that to you. I'm just saying that from a general concept. I don't think black men need to be worried about what white men are trying to do and the stuff that they trying to teach, because they are off group of people as it is for the most part. You know.
And I ain't great sit up here like
Hold on. Anytime I got something on the screen, y'all, that means I'm gonna read it. So y'all give me room to read it. All right.
Go ahead.
Shout out to Black Rule Strikes. He says, Roger's right. A lot of wishful thinking by the vast majority of them. And a few of the vicarious thrills where one in a few thousand of them sucked off Chris Brown backstage. And I'm going to say, y'all got to think about that. Chris Brown, one guy. Okay. There's only 365 days in a year. Leap year give you 366. Now, how many people y'all think he been with? Because Chris will be with some particular woman for some particular period of time, which means other women ain't even getting at him for that particular moment. Same thing with any other celebrity. Sometimes you ain't trying to be bothered with all the random hoes out there. You know what I'm saying? Because you're trying to spend time with your girl, the girl that you think is important to you at that particular time. So everybody ain't getting it like that. And even if every single celebrity slept with a different chick every night, most chicks in America would never sleep with a celebrity. It's not going to happen. It just ain't enough of them. And we got to remember that when it just comes to the numbers. It's just not enough. So the thing is, women just trying to get what they can get, and they're trying to get us to believe they have access to stuff that they don't. Yes, because of the internet, people can start DMing people. Do y'all really believe the average NFL player done DM 1,000 women a night? Is that what we believe in? I'm not saying you can't get a DM for an NFL player, but I know good and well you didn't. I would bet money that no one I have ever been with has ever been DM'd by an NFL player to this day.
Let me get this out real quick. And Raj, go into what you're saying. There are almost 17. There's actually 1,696, so 1,696 NFL players. There are 500, a little over 500. Was it 540 NBA players? Why am I bringing that up? The average woman in America is 5'3", 170 pounds. Okay, all right. When we speak about these one-off dudes that these women are praying, wishing, and hoping for to run into, and also vicariously comparing, because the women are bartering the vagina to anyone and everyone for any reason whatsoever. That same chick, these standards is BS. She will pipe the janitor at the hospital, and then if she could, she'll go give Chris Brown some, if she can, if it's possible. So this standard stuff is BS, right? With that, appreciate we're speaking about women that are 5'3", 170 pounds on average. We're not even specifying black women that are about 5'4", 5'5", and 100 and pretty much 90 positions, 186 or 189 pounds, 5'4", 5'5". These are the people that by the way, are 40 something, 50 something. Going back to the topic, 40 some odd, 50 some odd year old, praying, hoping, and wishing that now that she's given up on the Chris Brown dream, she hasn't given up on the Chris Brown dream, that you will take her on. And I'll end out with this. Raj, remember one of the women on the breakdown on women's perspective, remember one of them said something along the lines of, they're doing all of this because they're knowing that one of us is going to save them at the end.
Absolutely.
These are two black women. They say they overtly said they're doing whatever the hell they want to do, because they know when they snap their fingers, one of us, and I'm saying us as in black men, is going to do right by them eventually.
They're entitled to that.
Yeah, they really think that's what's going to happen. They're going to spend their 20s, 30s, maybe even early 40s chasing after, and there's a brother in the comments, had a private conversation with him about this, chasing after Jeezy and Wayne and whoever the hell. And when she finally gives up on that dream and it doesn't work out, then she's going to, air quotes, settle for one of us at 45, 48, and we're going to do right by her.
So that's
y'all remember back in the day when women used to make fun of the old dude in the club? You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You were like 22. You see girls clown the 40-year-old dude who was in the club. Now we got 45-year-old chicks in the club trying to compete for all the same men as the 25-year-olds.
Yeah,
right?
So y'all really, just let's be clear that we talking about a certain percentage of women too. So this ain't like this is all the population of women. We talking about a certain demographic and a certain group of women. I just want to make that clear. Like, I don't want
But
to like
Roger,
put it where
if I could say this, so this is the first
What?
time. Okay, when I was growing up, I didn't dress the same and listen to the same music as my dad. Right? You look at 45-year-old chicks; they bump Drake just like 18-year-old chicks do. 45-year-old chicks get BBLs. 18-year-old chicks get BBLs. This is the most youth obsessed culture time that we've ever lived in.
that's them trying to be those white women.
Look,
See, that's that white that's that white influence.
Hold on. I'm trying to reel y'all into the subject of the show. The subject is they're too old to date.
Yes.
This is not get off every single grievance that y'all have. Okay?
You hear me?
They're too old to court. They want to be courted at 14.
That contributes.
damn it.
The issue is the women are wasting so much time doing stuff they ain't got no business doing in their 20s, that now when they're 40, they're trying to do stuff that they think would have worked in their 20s.
Yes.
Did y'all watch the video and what the women was saying? He said that now, you know what I would first off, when a woman says when she got like history of dating, that's a red flag right there. That means somebody didn't choose you. Somebody didn't snatch you up. Somebody didn't feel it don't matter what you feel like you worth, somebody else didn't and you dating, you like men. That means somebody else didn't think you was worth it. So it don't really matter how you feel about yourself. That be one of the main delusions out here is it's all about me when you young. And then they figure out youth is fleeting a little too late, around about the 30+ mark.
Well, they ain't
Now they
got it
start
no
to
more.
drop and start to get a little, start to drop some of those reservations. But then at that point, like you said, that 40-year-old man in the club, he don't want the 40-year-old woman in the club. He want that 20-year-old woman that's in the club.
He
So
wants her child. That's what he wants.
yeah,
You
you
had
want
a
to.
kid at 20.
That's
She's
it.
20 years. I want your daughter. I don't want you because I'm 40. You 40. I want
You
your
hear
daughter.
me?
And that's
That's
all.
not even
Because we gotta
saying
ask
kids no
Raj
more.
this.
That's crazy.
We gotta ask Raj this. I'm sorry, Raj, because I'm about to drop too. Raj, if you don't mind me asking, how old are you again?
No, I don't put that on air no more. I
Okay,
don't
okay.
put that on air.
Your general region, because I actually know the answer because we had this private.
Right. But
Give
I'm
me the
Gen X.
general.
Yeah, I'm
Okay,
Gen
you
X.
Gen X. All right. The brother said 30 years old is when they start getting their mind right. And I'm not chastising you, brother. I'm doing this for a reason. Raj, we know around your Gen X, your solid Gen X age, right? Raj, at your age, do they got their mind right? The women around your age?
Absolutely not.
Nope.
Nowhere even close to it.
And even when it comes to expressions of, like the brother was saying, expressions of youth or expression or a particular way of dressing or speaking that symbolizes your age and a maturity that you're supposed to have and a youth you're not supposed to be chasing after. The women your age, Raj, do they symbolize any of that maturity?
Honestly, they're more crazy than they was back when they was in their 20s.
I agree.
Because they already
There we go.
they're facing
They feel like they
their
missing out.
failures.
That's
Well,
why
they're
they
facing
compete.
their failures. That, you know what I'm saying? When you start going into your 50s and you didn't get the stuff accomplished that you said you was gonna do in your life as a woman, and then some of them things you can't go back because if you ain't had kids, it's over with. You know what I'm saying? You can't go back when you're 50 and say, well, let me have my kids now. A lot of this stuff is, you know what I'm saying? They have to deal with this, and a lot of them getting the bills that show that ain't no man coming because they still getting that mortgage bill. And they thought they was gonna buy a house and some man was gonna come eventually come paying that mortgage bill with them, and then he still ain't showed up. And every month they reminded that man ain't showed up yet.
And by the way, Trell
it
is
up.
similar age to you. Trell and the brother Getmo are similar ages to you. I haven't spoken to Trell privately, but I've spoken to Mo
when can
privately.
we be
So y'all,
We can just
I'm about to drop right now. I'm dropping right now.
early 50s. We can call me
Okay.
early 50s. We can do that.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
can call me
So
early 50s.
because of that, and Trell says in the comments, hell to the no. That's all I wanted to end out with because to the question I asked. And thank you for having me up, Raj. I might come back if I can, but thanks for having me up and thanks for making me the sponsor. All right, y'all have a great day.
Right somewhere. He can't go
All
nowhere.
right. We go into our Ivy League, y'all, and he been waiting a little too long, honestly. Sorry, my brother, get your own. I can't see what the other word is. Sorry, my brother, get your own. What's the other word, brother?
No, that's it. Sorry, my brother. You got to get your own.
Okay, my bad. Okay, sorry, my brother, got to get your own. Sorry to have you waiting so long, but you got the floor, and we'll get Tunnel running in right behind you.
It's all right. I'm not Black Ruth, so I understand.
Well, we ain't gonna do that. We ain't gonna do that.
I got class 2 privilege. I don't got class 1. So it's all good. So first I want to say this. Black women are too old today. I'm gonna say no. No, they're not. Black women can date at any age, right? Lionel Richie, 70 years old, dating a 30-year-old, right? Dr. Dre, 60 something, dating a 45-year-old Mexican. So, it's out there. And then, if y'all want to get real wild, Jada Pinkett is dating a dead nigga, right? She's writing love letters to niggas. So,
So funny.
I'm just there. So I'm gonna say, and then on top of that, you always got the niggas with no legs. So I'm gonna say black women have been proven resourceful at dating, and no matter what age, they can find something. So I'm going to give them that. But the issue is this, and this is where my name comes from. Remember the thing, like, sorry, my brother, you got to get your own. Remember that saying back in the day?
Mm-hmm.
This is the problem with black women. They ain't gonna do nothing for you, right? And that's the issue, right? Because look, you're not gonna do nothing for you at all, never ever, because they believe that doing anything for a man, is like sacrilegious, is blasphemy, it's like worshiping the devil, and that is the problem, and that's why they wait until their 40s and 50s and things like that. Because at the end of the day, everybody had a good dude in their life, right? I mean, these women ain't virgins. Everybody ran across a good dude, right? But at the end of the day, she ain't gonna do nothing for you. That's why you ask. That's like in a video clip. It says, "What do you bring to the table?" They can't answer it because at the end of the day, no father, so you don't. No father, so you don't know how to interact with a man. And I'm gonna put this out there, just because we all black doesn't mean black women know how to deal with black men. Matter of fact, it's probably the opposite. Black women probably know the least about dealing with a black man because 70% of us are born out of wedlock. And because of that, black women don't really understand black men in relationships. They understand us in the context of race. And this is why there's, and I will drop it there.
All right. Now, Tunnel Runner got to get in. I got to read 2 cash apps real quick that came in. Shout out to God King. Okay. Shout out to God King. He says, Blackaroo timed me out saying I was spamming, shaking my head. Well, I mean, brother, I don't know. I haven't seen what you did, but, if you put too much in too quick, it could possibly seem that way. It could, I didn't see it, so I really don't know. And he also said in the second cash app, he said, I would take that as my patronage not warranted. Nah, I wouldn't say that, brother. Sometimes we get excited and we throw a lot of stuff out there real quickly, man. It probably was just something like that. I'm not gonna question Black Uru. You know what I'm saying? So you kind of got me in a jam position where I didn't see it, but I'm not gonna necessarily question Black Uru either. All I know is you're welcome. You've been good around here. You've been a good supporter. So I ain't gonna tell you to go nowhere. And I'm gonna just leave it at that because I ain't gonna question what Black Uru is doing either. I didn't see it, so I don't know. I'll look at it after the show possibly and make some kind of decision, but I'm gonna say don't trip, brother. Don't trip. You still welcome here. You still welcome. But if you put out way too much, way too quick, yeah, it could be seen as spamming. And that's probably all it was. That's probably all it was.
No, Black Uru didn't do it. Black Uru said he didn't do it.
He's like, man, I don't even know how to do all that.
Well, I mean, I can't measure it out either because I didn't see it. You know what I'm saying? If I would have saw it, then it's different, and I don't want
to. Someone else timed him out, not him.
Okay, and see, Black Uru didn't time you out. Someone else did it. That's what he's telling me. Somebody done said in the chat. So
it could have been Trail, boy. Trail got that sniper, boy.
So, y'all, why I say this to y'all, man? God King is a great supporter. Okay, he comes to the shows regularly, basically every day. He's a financial supporter as well. So y'all, before y'all just start messing with him, at least give him a warning. Okay, if y'all gonna do something to him, at least give him a warning first. Don't just knock him out the park. He done earned that. He at least done earned a warning around here. Come on, let's be real. He been rocking with me for a long time. So, okay, let's at least give him a warning if y'all gonna do something to him now. Come on. All right, Tunnel Runner, you got the flow, my brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. It's about the experiences that Black women have. It's not so much the age; is that if they have all these experiences, there's nothing new for them. When when they go out here, and a lot of times you want to get a woman that you can um do things for the first time with her. Be the first guy that took her out of the country. Be the first guy that took her to the West Coast. So when these women out here did all these experiences, then they messed up. There's nothing new. There's nothing exciting for them. They're used up.
Mm.
When they've been with too many guys and too much experience, they done did everything. So what you gonna do for them?
What'd you say, Tunnel? Shit, I already did that. Oh, I've been there. It was like this.
Exactly.
Oh, when I went there with this, I'm like, motherfucker.
You want to take them to Jamaica, and they go, "Oh, I've already been here. I know King John." It's like that. That ain't nothing. What you do? You know, wasting your money. You want to take a girl that never been, that
You
hasn't
didn't
been
say that
nowhere. So
before
when
we
you
made
take
the
them there,
motherfucking tickets. You didn't say that before we got here.
Well, I'm gonna say the one of the main issues with sisters is that you have a bunch of women that's been trained to do dumb stuff in your 20s, and then they still trying to do dumb stuff in their 30s. I ain't gonna like that. Stop. Some of them catch a clue though that I am getting old and I have bills because they've done something that they probably should not have done, such as buy a house, and now they need help with their mortgage payment. you know, and when you get a $1,300 bill every single month that is coming next month too, sometimes it's like, okay, well now I need to settle down. This is the same thing that I said that what Black men need to stop doing is allowing women to move in their homes. Okay, because we be young men, we get an apartment, then we let some woman move in with us. It's the same thing on their end. They got a house that they can't afford. They got this 13, and I'm just throwing 1,300 as a random number, but they got this $1,300 mortgage, and now because I can't see how I'm gonna pay this $1,300, now I want to settle down so I can bring a man in here to help me with this mortgage. It's not even about you.
Roger, they're not trying to settle down. They're trying to sit down.
The thing is, a woman can't settle. The only way a woman can settle is she has to be the breadwinner. The breadwinner settles. Okay, if you're not even trying to be the breadwinner, you can't settle. That's what I'm saying. They'll call themselves settling down. They're not, because they ain't trying to be the breadwinner. That's why you got a mortgage and you don't want to pay this mortgage. I'm not even saying she don't have the ability to pay the mortgage. She just don't want to pay that mortgage because she'd rather spend money on quote unquote fun stuff.
No, she don't want to work. She
and Roger, just one thing, Roger. What you just said was the thing is, it's a great thing to have your wife you buy a house together, or your wife is coming into your house that you brought, and this is her experience. When she already brought the house, she already had that experience. There's nothing new for her. Like I said, she's just looking for you to help. She's not looking for you to build and grow. When you get into the house, when you got a house, or you get in the house with your wife for the first time, that's her first experience of having a house. Once she already did it, it's already done. So it's nothing new to her.
Well, that goes along with it. I agree with that. And the issue is that's because she's old. If she wasn't old, she wouldn't have a house. The average child don't
when
have
I
a house.
brought my wife her car, she was the first car she had. So she's loving that car to death, loving me because she got the first thing. So it's like the things that a father used to do, and now I'm being the man who's leading her to a different direction.
Yeah. And see, the thing is, courting is something that's supposed to happen right after high school. You an adult, he's an adult. Y'all got all these options of what y'all can do with y'all lives. Either we like each other or we don't. And you don't need, so your career path ain't got nothing to do with whether we like each other. We either like each other or we don't. Some folks, they got to deal with this person going to college over there, I'm going to college over here, so there's some space in between them. I'm not a fan of long distance, but I'll make an exception for folks that's in college because you're supposed to be working toward a mission. And, either you can keep to the mission or you can't. So if you're young, sure, get your degree, get married. What else you need to be doing? But if you don't want to get married because you just got your degree. Okay. And then, okay, so you need a year or two. So you need 23 to 24 to do what? Start having sex with a bunch of people?
Yeah, she needs to see how big her mouth is, right? She needs to know how big her mouth. That's important.
Breaking up.
No, everybody mute up. Everybody mute up.
So what I'm saying, yeah, she needs the carousel. It's important, right? She needs to know how many she can take in her mouth, right?
Well, I do agree. It's about having sex, and a lot of women are being taught that you don't really know who you are until you had enough dicks to be able to really tell. And my thing is just like once you then had all these dicks, you too old at that point.
No, but I do believe that because of the blood in their gene and the wholeness needs to be active. I do believe that hood rats don't know who they are like 80, and then they get active. So I
I'll say that with college educated women too. They don't know who they are because they think that. Again, I was debating a young lady. She was from Africa, and she was trying to hit me with all this education. I'm educated in history, and I'm educated in this, and I've been here, and I've been there, and I've been here. And I was like, you ain't got no common sense. You have zero common sense, and you ain't got no husband. So you got all that knowledge, and you have zero common sense right now. It just stumped her. And it always like that. You like I said, you can't have everything. You can't be cool and super nerdy at the same time. That usually don't work like that. You got to pick one or the other. You just cannot be endowed with everything on this earth. And so if you pick to be super duper intelligent, well, that probably would turn, especially the way she was delivering it. Like it was just so aggressive and just that was just what you was proud of. The fact that you was a smart nerd and almost angry at the fact that men did not respect the fact that you was super smart and college educated. Like, I don't care about your education. What that booty look like? What them legs look like? What them toes looking like? What's your cooking hand? What's that whip hand like? You know what I'm saying? Can you even breathe? Those are the things we want to hear. That's not going to be discussed. Are you loyal to one, or have you had many that didn't give you that option?
You got feedback, bro. You got feedback. You got a lot of feedback.
No, that's bad. Be a bad black gamer, man.
That
Dip
ain't me.
out. It's bad black gamer. Dip out. Turn your phone off and come back, bro. Turn your phone off and don't come back. Because every time you unmute, we getting that. There we go. Well, I mean, the thing is, a lot of women have told their daughters and whatnot a bunch of stuff that ain't got nothing to do with what men are looking for. Because now they're trying to use a degree to say, I don't have to be a decent woman. And that's what men need to pick up on. I have a degree. What they got to do with you being a decent woman? They think that's a bypass for being a decent woman. Okay? Because, I got a house. What? That don't bypass the fact that you need to know how to cook. You need to know how to clean. You need to know how to raise children. You need to be a good person that I even want my children to copy from in the first place. See, they're trying to use material stuff to get past the things that they fail at.
That's value. I'm trying to get all these material things to create value to create some type of equality. So since I got a house, right? Usually men buy houses, just to establish families, and that's usually why you want to get a house. Other than that, I feel like women should damn near stay with your daddy. If you got a daddy, you need to stay with your daddy as long as possible until a proper suitor come along and feel like he want to sweep you up off your feet. But that be a problem too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, now you talking about being disciplined. See, that's the problem.
But you ain't that. You might say your mama didn't kick the daddy out. You see what I'm saying? And kicked him out. Said, hey, you don't need that, and then feed him this. We don't need men, and you don't need that, and you need this, and go get education to substitute for everything that you should have. So instead of going to get the man, you got to substitute for money, substitute for housing, substitute for all these things when all you got to do is just surrender and just go get you a good man. Just settle down, go get you a good man, and then you'll still be able to gain all that education, all that your housing and real estate, and all these things that you want. Because guess what? Two's always better than one, right? And where you lacking, where you thinking you so damn smart, He gonna come out to you and give you the game like, babe, settle that down a little bit. Don't nobody give a shit about all that. You get what I'm saying? It'll balance out. But when it ain't no balance, I don't need no man, and I don't need this, and I got money, and I get like, bro, baby, chill. I said, what you striving to make in 1 year? I said, yo, the suckiest man can go out and make in a day if he apply himself properly. So it's like what you trying to do is just will not work. And it don't matter what age a man is. Usually, even an older man can go get a younger woman. That's his goal. It's really challenging.
Si se puede, si se puede.
Let me
It's
jump in here,
usually
Russ.
challenging for an older woman to go get a younger man if she ain't got helly bread and helly type of what's that work done. We'll say cosmetically serviced. We'll say that. Cover up all them wrinkles and crinkles and grays and things of that nature. Shave off their monkey so you don't see all the the silver down below. You know what I'm saying? They do little things, and it's like all you got to do is take advantage of your 20s. Take advantage of your youth while you have it. It's fleeting. You'll never be 20 something again. And when you get in them 30s and them wrinkles and crinkles start coming and them grays start popping out, they start reconsidering some things. Bam. Yeah, you ain't 20 no more. So I'm gonna land here with this. Usually, they gonna spend more time trying to keep yourself looking young than actually taking advantage of the youth that you actually had. You're gonna spend more time trying to make yourself look youthful when you could have just took advantage of the youth that you had.
Well
Let me
said,
jump in
brother.
here, Russ.
Well said. Yeah, go. You got it, Bronx. Go ahead.
All right. I waited 15 minutes here to get my 2 minutes. Putting that on the record.
You're
Boy,
welcome.
this phone sucks.
Okay, you're welcome,
Hey,
brother.
where's my computer?
But no, I was actually a little busy anyway, so that worked out. But man, I want to bring this to the table. The older women are bad, absolutely, right? But we keep reiterating essentially to get these women young. Brothers, these women are coming out of high school 10, 15, 20 plus bodies deep already, man. This ain't the same environment. So even picking a younger woman today is risky as hell because they coming out of high school ran through, man. These hoes are lucky to get out of high school without a baby today. And even if they get out without a baby, they still 20 plus bodies deep. It's over with here, man. It's over with here because you have to think about it. The old women who are trying to settle down and get married now and essentially trap a man to make him pay for all of the sins of her youth. Those are the same women who taught this next generation of girls. So they already taught them how to be ran through before they even show up to us. So even if you go in and talk to a girl that's 19, 20, 21, you still faced with the same problem, man.
That's true. That's true.
It's just deeply embedded into American culture now.
That's true.
So the options here are bleak, man. The options here are very bleak. There's a lot less quality women to choose from here. And when you just date within inside of the black community, you significantly decrease your chances of getting a decent woman in America. So man, this country is toast, man. This country is toast. I'm not saying that ain't one out there, bro, but it's gonna be like finding a needle in a haystack in this environment here. I'm gonna land my plane.
Well, I want to say this if I can. I do agree that uh, her being young doesn't matter because man, especially 21, she went to college, all the spring breaks, all the Miami trips, all the hot girl summers. You can forget about it. But I do want to say something about the old women, right? Y'all gotta remember something. Women that are 45, when they were teens and kids, they were listening to Back That Ass Up and Danger by Mystical and Drake. Women who are 45, Drake was out when they were in their 20s. So Drake is still their like generation, right? Because when if she's 45, she was in her 20s in 2010, 2009.
Damn.
You know what I mean? Drake
He
was out,
right though.
right?
Yeah,
So,
man. Yeah.
so you got to understand something, right? this generation of old people, they grew up on hip hop, 2000, like Diddy, Biggie Smalls, like they grew up on that, and twerking and grinding, right? Twerking is just grinding, right? So they grew up on that. So at the end of the day, right, you can't say they're acting young because that's what we grew up on, right? Mystical, Ja Rule and Juvenile, back that ass up, right? Freaknik, right? All that stuff started in that generation.
Too short. We can
Like
say
Nelly, hot in here, sliding the credit cards between her
down
behind,
down the back.
right? Yeah, I mean, so that we grew up with that music.
So are you saying they aspired to be these type of women? So not ran away from being that type of woman, even though you still had college or successful ambition. You think they really truly, and we see it, aspire to be almost prostitutes to a degree. Because look how the women, and I'm talking all women. I ain't talking about just black women. I'm talking about women, especially women in America.
Part of college is what people fail to realize. Part of college is social, right? You have the academic side, and you have the social side, and I would say that people that didn't go to college don't know how to party like people at college, especially like ASU, UCLA, Berkeley, some like Michigan, some of the craziest tailgating, football parties, pin relays. Come on, bro. Like everybody's 20 full of cum. Everybody is partying, right? College is two parts. You have the educational part and you have the social part. Frats, right? Sororities. Partying every weekend.
And still getting up going to class. So there is a level of responsibility and accountability there. So what about the women?
My point, Landon, here is that today's old people is not going to look like 1965 old people.
I feel that.
You had like Marvin Gaye and Aretha Franklin. Oh no, that's gone, man. That's gone.
Skirts.
Now, you might need to try a different culture where, because my wife doesn't know who Drake is and who some of these rappers are. She just, I told her Louis Vuitton was an old rapper. That's why you don't want none of that stuff. But and she just brought me some. She just brought up to me some grits and some eggs, some spinach, sausage, and some croissant bread with hot chocolate. But she doesn't have a degree, but she is educated by me.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna say this because y'all ain't seen where I went yet. 19 is too old. If you're not trying to get dated, you know what I'm saying? Which courting is what dating is supposed to be for.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm gonna say this again because a lot of times people ain't heard it. Men control dating. We the ones paying for it. So we're only supposed to be dating women that we're trying to court. If you date the woman that you're not trying to court, that's your fault. Because I bet you any kind of money she ain't took you out. You took her out. So that's you.
So what's that?
It's your power, your money, and you doing what you want to do with your power, with your money. Okay. Now it may not be a whole lot of power because maybe you're only spending $200 to $500 or whatever the case is, but it's power attached to all money. And if you're not using it properly, that's on you. Yes, but my point is, if she's 19 and she's already past the point of looking for a husband, she's too old.
No, I can't. No. I mean, I do agree with you. You should get married. You should get married before 30. I do agree with that. But 19, man, you're a teenager, man. You're a teenager.
You should be married by 22. If you're 19 and don't have a mindset of getting a husband, you already too old. You're already too wild.
Well, I mean, but that you can have that like when you're young. Your parents can instill that when you're young. But like 19, 20, 21, man, you like I say that's still too young, man.
No,
But
he's
19,
saying don't hate, but they don't even have that mindset. So they don't even have the
well,
mindset.
that's because they don't have fathers. That's because they don't have
They
fathers.
coming out. I don't need no man as teenagers, even in high
Right,
school.
right.
I don't
They
need no
start that
man
at
for
12
nothing.
years old. They start that at 12 years
Oh, he
old.
close.
But you still freaking them, and you still taking them down.
Oh,
So now the concept
yeah.
of having a man, taking
Makes
care of a
sense.
man properly, what it looked like to take care of a household, these are not the things that they're going for. So by the time she 18, 19, her mind is, I need the things that a man would provide, not the actual man. And then once they get into that upper age, it's damn near too late because that's not what you was focused on. You can't
Well,
be no 40-plus-year-old
too
woman and not know how to cook properly or take care of
too
your
late.
home or just to take care of
It's
just
too
basic
late.
life.
It's too late when you're born without a father. It's too late.
No,
Because
no,
like I said before, like I said before, like you got to learn. You're not learning, right? Like if a woman sees her mother and her father, you're learning how to interact with a man, learning how to treat him. You need that environment as adolescents. Your foundation
Good
is
or
there,
bad. I agree.
right?
Good.
well,
Like youth matters. Youth matters. Don't get me wrong. Youth matters. I'm not saying it doesn't, but you still need that environment.
A
well,
healthy
I'm
environment.
not against you saying that if she ain't got a daddy, she just out the picture. Period. My thing is that's okay to do. A man can make any kind of stand that he wants, so I'm
No,
100%
no, no.
with that.
I'm not saying. I'm not saying if she don't have a father, don't matter. I'm not. I'm not perhaps spreading that message. But what I am saying is that it matters. That's all I'm saying. It
No,
matters.
no, I get you, and all I'm saying is when it comes down to it, as men, it's about what we see. I can't see myself marrying no old lady. You okay? Now, I've said before on air, if I do something like that, I'm giving a woman a bad deal. You know, and because that's the only type of deal I'm gonna have. I mean, I'm already pretty much at that point. I can't give a woman a good deal at this point because I've done too much without her. So there is no good deal to get.
Right.
Now, if you want to marry me, knowing that you're not gonna inherit none of the stuff that we get, cool. But at the end of the day, I'm not even looking for marriage like that no more because I'm just an older guy. I believe in it. I believe in the structure. I still want people coming behind me to do it so they can live with a better situation. But it's just for me personally, I don't like you enough to give you anything after I'm dead. I don't like you like that because I'm too old to like you like that. You know what I'm saying? That stuff is built over time with people. I don't have the time with you to build it anymore.
Well, you don't. Yeah, you didn't grow like after you got it. If you got it by yourself, then I'm with you on that, man.
You'll
'Cause,
be
like,
very protective.
I got like after I got my stuff together, man.
Well, the marriage is something you're supposed to be. Yeah, you were supposed to be with somebody while you was getting yourself together, and y'all was supposed to share in the benefits of the work it took to get y'all selves together. You know,
it didn't shake out that way.
Yeah,
Actually,
to a degree. To a degree.
Well,
I think there's
I'm
nothing
not-
wrong
I'm
with
not-
men. There's nothing wrong with men having, going in. Nothing wrong with men going in and establishing themselves to be the best leaders, the best provider that he could possibly.
Well, no. Look, I'm not.
be.
I'm not.
That's why I see where Roger is at right now. It would be challenging for him to choose somebody who just don't get it. Because what can you offer me?
No,
right?
No. You need to struggle.
Seriously.
You need to
What
struggle
can you
with your
offer
brother.
me?
You
Right,
need to
as
watch
one woman in my life at this particular age, as a woman, right, and we the same age, what really could you offer me? You know what's gonna happen? They're gonna argue about every fucking thing because she didn't already done or done it, right? And somebody did not choose her. So she had all those experiences, but they did not lock her down. So now you're gonna debate about, well, I already did this, or I did that, and did that. It's a whole lot of experience.
Roger's right. If you even as a man, if you got your stuff together, right? Like look at Cristiano Ronaldo, right? Probably the most famous sports person on the planet, right? He's like worldwide, everybody knows him, a soccer player, right? He went and get married to his girlfriend for a long ass time because he was like, I made it already. What can you give me?
Yep.
Like he's 41 years old.
He did a surrogacy, right?
Right, he did surrogacy.
Wow.
Right,
He
so
did
like,
surrogacy, and that's smart. That's smart because I agree, bro. It's risky as hell.
Yeah.
It's risky as hell to like get married here, bro, and have kids, dog. It's just too risky.
let me finish, bro.
Go
Let me
ahead, my
finish.
bad.
So at the end of the day, man, like there's something because if I struggle with you and I sweat and struggle, put sweat equity and stuff, and you didn't leave me, so now we have trust. I know that during good times and bad times, ups and downs, you with me. But now we live in the high life, right? And now you come along, I ain't sharing shit.
It'd be hard. That's exactly what I teach my boys. Build, grow, get all the things you need to acquire so that you can share them with someone because
No,
it ain't
sharing
fair.
that shit got to be earned, man. I think we teach people the wrong thing. That is the
I agree.
wrong.
It do got to be earned, but you
That
still
got to be
sharing.
earned.
It's still yours,
But
and you're
for
going to
y'all,
share it if you so choose.
so fast, because for y'all go too far in the wrong direction. Because this, my point is, the women are too old. If I do stuff and then I'm trying to seek a woman, I'm not looking to seek no old woman. And I think black men just don't. We're
Well, I
just
mean,
not.
that's what we're saying, right? It's too old. It's too late, right? If I'm whatever age and I made it, and she's whatever age, we didn't start when we're young, right? It's too old and too late.
And my thing is, that's 100% on her. As a young man gonna take a woman. You know what I'm saying? Especially if she look good and she act right, he's gonna take a woman. So if you don't, as a woman, if you're not available for a young man to get while he's trying to make stuff happen, that's your fault. If you have an attitude and people can't work with you, like y'all said, some people too old, they want to argue about everything. I ain't gonna spend, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying, the second half of my life, you know what I'm
yeah,
saying, argue with anybody. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? I didn't put myself in that position to have a bunch of arguments. That sounds crazy, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So my thing is though, this old view of women has to be taken down, even to women that's in their youth. You know, these 19, 20, 21-year olds, it's also going to be about how you're acting. Are you acting old or are you acting young? And is it something I can work with or is it something that I can't? And I
Uh-huh.
think for most of ours, they just simply act too old. And my thing is I got to acknowledge that they are who they are. And
No, but
if I lock it down, I'm going to pay that price because that's what I chose to do when I locked it down, knowing it was trash from Jump Street.
That's right.
19 at my age right now, that's a child. Like, nah, and
No, no, no.
I can't deal with that
I
shit.
get what you're saying, but it ain't just about you. It's anybody. The 30-year-old, well, he can be talking to a 19-year-old that done been with eight people already, and she already messed up in the head. That's possible nowadays because it ain't the same no more. But let me let these other gentlemen get in. Great Black Reset then came up. I'm gonna let them get in, and Inspired Truth is here. It look like we got somebody else coming in as well. So go ahead, Great Black Reset.
Fellas, fellas, fellas. How y'all doing today? I came to
Good,
set the
good.
record. I came to set the record straight, man. Listen, man.
Uh-oh.
Thrag is one of my favorite characters. The reason being, the first thing he did when he took power, he killed the weak, man. And it sounded real weak up here, man. So I'm about to kill you, brother spirit, up here today. We need to stop even having conversations with these chicks, bro. We need to stop asking these chicks about anything when it comes to seriousness of life and how we should move about. If you're the leader, you set the program. Only question you should be asking these chicks, here's my program. Do you want to get on it? No, dismiss and move to the next one until you find one that's gonna get on your program. We shouldn't be having no discussions with these chicks or nothing. Bro, they provide negativity financially and otherwise to our entire community, to the nation as a whole. That's why they got rid of DEI. They ain't providing nothing. They ain't provide nothing to you. They ain't provide nothing to the state. They ain't provide nothing to the children. They don't provide nothing. Woo. I don't even know why we having this conversation. Give them your program. It's either yay or nay. If the answer's nay, move out the way so somebody else can get up in here who want to be here. That's it. And I'm landing my plane.
But you just told a bunch of weak niggas to do that, man.
He a little too excited. I'm just gonna say he a little too excited, man. He a
That
little
was,
too excited.
I would like to say something. That
Go
was
ahead and after you,
that
Inspired Truth.
that was the worst opening speech I've heard in a very long time. God damn.
I concur. I concur.
Man, hey man, I'm with Trump, man. It's a bunch of haters over there in China, man. It's a bunch of haters in China. That's all I got to say.
We're gonna give it to Inspired Truth and say the show. We're gonna say the show. Inspired, you got it. And then after you, we'll get keeping it funky. I think that's like Uru, I guess, possibly. Because I can't see that last word. But go ahead, Inspired Truth.
Oh man, that's a tall order. Let me see if I can save it. All right, so here's the deal. Like, there really are just two things here that you have that make any type of sense. And to get back to what Roger was talking about, the whole like aging out thing, like when you get to a certain point where you're established in life, and when you're seeking a person, a woman in your life, you're seeking either a family or you're seeking sexual access. If you're seeking sexual access, you don't really need a committed relationship for that. As a matter of fact, your best bet for that is to just be single. So if I'm going to like go and actually see or pursue somebody, then I'm going to be probably pursuing somebody young enough to have a family with. And that's just the only thing that makes sense. Now, in regards to the whole way that it's going to be perceived, you're going to get a whole lot of moralizing that's going to occur that, oh, you should have somebody that's your age so that you can talk to them, so
Right.
you can have this stuff to talk about and blah, blah, blah. We don't really give a damn about talking like that. That's something that the women want. Like, they will push this stuff on you when it's not stuff that you value, and then they'll tell you to pay a top dollar for that. Now, here's another little side thing. Like, I was trying to talk earlier. I got kind of like kicked off by the damn spam call. I hate my spam blocker needs to be better. But this whole power thing is always working in the background. The power dynamic is something that you can't get away from. And so when they're trying to like shame you for going younger, that's a way that they're exerting power socially. They're exerting social power. And I'll drop it and leave it for that, like that for now.
So it's a shaming, right? It's always some type of you shouldn't be doing that, or you too old for this, or you too tall for that, or you too big for this, or you too. As I say, they try to arm themselves with things that don't really have nothing to do with you, that you really probably didn't even consider and really don't care about. That was a great point. Then you end up financing that thing somehow, some way. It's a Jedi mind trick if you let it be. If you let it be. I also agree with the younger. You should get married at a younger age, or at least have that mind frame that marriage is the end goal. Right now, these young ladies, remember it used to be back in the day, they played with baby dolls, and the women would encourage them to, you want a man, and and now they actually frown upon, that narrative now of you need a man, and you absolutely do. So for another woman to tell another woman she don't need no man and she ain't got no man is really crazy to me. And then I just seen this statistic where the kids are living at home more often. They're living at home more often because they're not thinking about marriage, right? They're not thinking about getting out the house, building a legacy, even building and how to build. There's that fear of how to build, and relationships are supposed to be perfect. So they wait. And then they realize that you got these old hags who then told them, hey, you don't need no man. And then they turn into an old hag and realize that old hag was wrong. And
Yeah,
then
you're
it just
right.
it's perpetual.
Yeah,
So
man.
can I
Talk
get
is
my
cheap.
2 minutes in
Talk is
real quick?
exceptionally cheap.
Yeah,
And talking to an
that's
old
exactly what I was
broad
gonna
is
say.
extremely cheap.
Yeah, his brother get his 2 minutes in. That's what I came back to say.
Yeah.
And I got
Go
food
for
in
it.
my
You
mouth, so I wasn't trying to talk right now. But y'all ain't gonna let this dude get his 2 minutes.
Yeah, Creator
Okay,
be going into Montel Williams mode. I ain't mad at him though. Um,
go ahead, brother.
Shout out to everybody. Happy Tuesday and all of that. I think House said it best earlier. Your average 40-year-old, she came up listening to Too Short. She was listening to Luke. All of that derogatory stuff we kind of complain about now. My generation and my generation period, we was strictly raised on that. If hip hop is 50 years old and you met a chick who's 42 years old, she grew up, her and hip hop grew up together. They was in the same high school. You dig it? So my generation we weren't infused with marriage. Real talk. Marriage was not infused in our culture. If you were 45, if you fought probably 47 and under. That wasn't nothing that was pumped in your head. The most I remember me and my homie had a conversation. I said, yo, you ever realize you never get asked when you get married, but you always get asked when you're gonna have some children? Never pumped into us. None of the music. The only time you might have 3 TV shows that was really about family. But other than that, marriage was not pumped into our society, especially into our culture. And that is the reason why you have what you have. Like even like Rogers at his age, Roger 83 years old. He ain't thinking about getting married, right? So and I thought to myself, I'm like, I'm around like Roger age too. And it's like, well, why didn't I think about it at that time? All of my white counterparts and my Spanish counterparts, they married. They got little girls and little daughters and sons playing soccer, graduating from college and high school. It wasn't embedded in us, especially if you listen to hip hop. That was the last thing that anybody ever said was marriage.
Yeah.
Come to find out, all them niggas that was pumping that music to you, them niggas was married.
Yeah, you go. Never did they speak on that. Never did
So,
they tell you that. But go
so
ahead, brother. My bad.
the devil is a sneaky bastard. He's a sneaky bastard. And what do they say? The people who don't get married are like it's harder to make generational wealth when you're single. So what did they
Yep.
do? They set us up for a hard time at creating generational wealth because all they pumped to us was being single. Bitches ain't shit but hoes and tricks and scamming ass niggas throw it in the go-yard bag. And I landed right there.
Snoop been married for 30
Yeah.
plus 30 years or so.
So
Exactly.
I want to say this.
Snoop
I
been
want to say
married for
this
30 years. A
because
lot of those
when we grew up, there was this running joke that when we're 50 and 60 years old, we gonna be listening to hip hop bumping down the road, gray as hell, and kids will be staring at us all crazy and shit. That was the running joke.
debit sauce.
So it's another thing here. Like you made a good observation there, Sharp.
Ask
Like I
him real
do
quick.
see a whole lot of chicks talking about like I mean, yeah, the guys and girls on this whole thing about like where your kids that you should have kids by now or whatever if you're older. But then the thing about this is that they'll also shame you for having kids and then not being with like a spouse or something. So no matter what you do, you're still going to get some sort of devaluation. You're still going to get some form of shame because the whole idea of this whole thing is just about like disparaging your image so that you can be available for being treated like less than so that somebody can have an exploitative deal.
But you gotta listen to the verbiage. Even when you have a child, the verbiage is, why aren't you with the mother of your children? Now why aren't you with your wife?
Mm,
Well, I think a lot of this comes from us listening to the women too much. Because
I was just about to say along the same lines, man.
if I'm realistic,
He's breaking in and out.
Yeah, I
well,
don't hear
then
anything.
people was married.
That's
Is it? People
that's
was married.
God.
So at the
That's
end of the
God.
day,
Wait, Roger, rewind that because you broke out.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
breaking
okay.
up.
your connection is terrible.
First
God
two
wants this to be
sentences.
a better podcast, so he's cutting them off.
CPR heavy.
I mean,
Still
GBI say
haters,
all
still
kinds of
there.
stuff that God don't say. You know what I'm saying? Because if God really wanted this to be a better broadcast, he could just put GBI away. He could, but he didn't do that though, did he? So he just be rapping sometimes. It's okay.
Why
It's
you
okay.
mad at me? Why you mad at me when God cut your mic off? Why you mad at me, man?
Nah, it wasn't that. Trust me, I ain't mad at you
You
at
can't
all.
talk crazy. No, look, I got to.
I'm glad you're here.
No,
The
you
Lord,
created you. You.
he sent people in destitute places to bring back life. So I'm glad you're here, brother. I come to the
Yeah, Urban.
destitute.
Yeah,
Okay.
Urban. You've been married this entire time.
Yeah.
You
Hey,
Yeah.
Oh man.
it's LeBron
Now,
been
what I
married
was
this
saying
entire
though,
time.
when I was 18, getting married was just the next thing to do because I grew up in a family where marriage was normal. You know what I'm saying? I had aunties and uncles that's been married. You know what I'm saying? I got cousins that's been married so long I can't remember them single. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
for real, for real. They was, you know what I'm saying? They was already, well, they wasn't already married when I was born, but it was so close to when I was born, I cannot remember them as a single person. So marriage is a very normal thing amongst my people.
I have a quick
Now,
question. What
I
the
can't
hell
say
is a
nothing.
Goyard bag? What the hell is a Goyard bag, by the way?
Bro,
Oh, it's
I said the same
so
thing,
it's
Top.
a
It's
I
a
didn't
it's a
never
certain
know what
it's a
that
certain
was until they say
it's
it
a
on the
certain kind of
radio.
it's a certain kind of designer bag. But see, Roger, what you said is
It's
very
a what?
imperative.
It's a
It's like a
what?
designer. It's a designer bag,
Oh, okay.
like a Louis Vuitton. What you
Is
said
it
is very
special?
imperative. It's expensive, but
Oh,
Roger,
yeah.
what you said is
yeah.
very
Okay.
imperative. You said you grew up in a family like that. We talking about society.
Yeah, we talk about society. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I grew up in
I
a
know it's
family
your.
like that
I,
too, and mom and dad still together,
But we look at our
almost 50
ages.
years.
That's what we were
Yeah,
just
yeah,
talking
our
about.
age, man.
You look at our
but
ages and where we
That's not
came,
normal.
the generations we
per,
came from. Now
what you
that
call it?
same
Are you
woman was
married?
telling
Are you
her
married
daughters,
though?
that same woman was looking at these relationships that were imperfect, and instead of looking at their daddy as being there and doing what he had to do with zero blueprint, right? And it was a lot more oppressive in our time than it is right now. So that's one thing about time and progression. The where we are now makes things look so smooth and easy, and you can just do anything you want to do now. In our day, it was not like that. You had systematic situations that would hinder you from getting to where you needed to get to a lot quicker. Now it's streamlined. Then not so much. So it was challenging for a man, and he had to deal with that. Now, me as being grown, I could see that side of it. When I was a youth, I didn't understand. Now I
No,
Yeah, I
creative.
would say
That's
things are
I wouldn't. I
actually
can't agree with that
streamlined in a lot
creative.
of different ways. There's more obstacles.
But I can't agree with what creative saying because, like I told you, I have homeboys that I was literally in gym class with, same grade, went graduation pictures with. They got two whole kids, married. They were engulfed in the culture like I was.
That's true. Matter of fact, back in the day, there was rap songs about not having kids was a flex. Right? Not having kids was a
Hmm.
flex. Right? Because it was
Like it
because
was a
the
mistake to have a kid. Like nigga, you didn't
yeah.
mess up your life.
Right? Because so many kids were having kids in high school that it was a flex that you don't have kids. You're one of the good guys. You were the responsible ones by not having
Hmm.
kids.
So
Right?
it's
See,
just a
y'all niggas grew
culture.
up in a white neighborhood. Me and Shark grew up in the trenches. So that's why
School of
it's
hard
hard to
knocks.
relate to y'all niggas sometimes.
Yeah. School of hard knocks. So I understand what Roger's saying, but I definitely gotta say, like, yeah, that might just be like a one-off thing. But the rest of us, the masses of us,
Yep.
we was
Real
pumped
niggas.
we was pumped red Kool-Aid like a motherfucker.
Yep.
Yeah, I
And
wasn't in the
that's one of the
suburbs
main
now.
reasons why we have this thing called the red pill right now.
Right. And see, and I give credit to y'all white bread niggas. Cause y'all came up with it. But at the end of the
This
day,
nigga.
at the end of the
Yeah,
day,
we really on that,
at,
bro.
at the
It's a
end
nice
at the end
story
of the
though.
day, but at the end of the day, man, like, see, y'all don't know how it is to grow up really in the hard knocks, man. Growing up on the streets, man, concrete jungle.
I saw some stupid.
I I'm just waiting on hot sausages in West Philadelphia, born and raised.
No,
My
no, man.
playground is where I spend
I
most
have
of my
not
day.
been. I'm from a place worse than the West.
Boy, your mama sent you to Bel Air to go live with your uncle, man. Stop
Yeah,
playing, bro.
me.
I'm
Hey
Before
from
it
man,
got dumb, you understand? Before it
Yeah,
got
be
real
from the
wreck.
same
They,
hood as
you know, a
NBA
lot of
young
times
boy.
that's a good woman. That's a good woman. I appreciate that. I was watching some the other days. They had a kid, and she had a mixed kid, and she, you know, the dude, she had a mixed kid by a dude in Jamaica. And dude in Jamaica, like, look, you know, he just stone cold. I ain't really trying to have nothing to do with you. Or that little nigga. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of how it was. So she had to deal with it. That situation is more prevalent. But where I applauded her is the fact that she knew that she had a little black man, and she knew that he needed influence. So hey, let me go find, even though I don't really know no black folk like that at all, let me go find what I need for my son. Because I know that he's gonna be a young black man. He need men around. He need real men around. Not no flux shit. And she just totally backed off. And you know, we could say what it won't, but a lot of women just don't want to do that. I could do this myself. Pride get in the way. I don't need no man. I don't need nobody. And then you try to shove that into this little dude's psyche, and it'll backfire every time. If he a real man, if he a soft man, you know, then he want to get pink hair and you know dresses
All
and
kinds of shit. Yeah. So
Look,
like the
interesting
title.
things happen when you have female empowerment meeting female delusion. When those two things interact, you end up with a fiasco.
Mm-hmm. And when you look at the title, to go back to the title on black women too old to date, I wouldn't say they too old to date. They're too broken to date. They didn't been ran through. Like I also said, if they went to college, they was wilding in college. If they didn't go to college, they was wilding in the streets. Because niggas was still going to clubs and all that. So they didn't not been through because they put themselves through the stuff. They didn't did so much wild shit that it's impossible for them to see life for what it really is if it ain't involving some nonsense.
You know what though? It's only that level of it's that woman, it's that pot of women that was in the club. It was that pot of women that just really focused on their beauty. That was their asset. I always said it again. They advocate for their pussy. When you advocate for your pussy, you gonna always go wrong because when that thing start getting gray, right? How valuable really is it? That's the evidence of it in lost value. So when you all off in the club, right? You just trying to be the cutest. You spending all your revenue on looking cute every weekend. That's at least a 5-piece for some, way more. I mean, just how you got to wear, dress, and be involved with that culture. So you ain't thinking about legacy building, buying no house, getting yourself prepared for your retirement. Then you get old and you still you stick to that same business model. It's crazy. You still older in the club seeking, right? What the hell could you possibly be seeking in the club other than schlongage? I
Well,
can't.
here's the
I
thing.
could be wrong.
Well, here's the thing. Like they're
Sloggers and
always
attention.
constantly trying to like recontextualize things. They'll be like, "Oh, well, but I look good for a 40-year-old. Oh, but I look
Yeah.
good for a
Nah.
50-year-old." And then
Back
if you're
to
like,
how I look.
"Hey, that's still like a 50-year-old. That's still like a 40-year-old," then they'll be like, "Oh, well, you must be sassy. You must be this or that or the other. You must be gay because you don't want it." I'm like, I don't have to scrape the bottom of the barrel.
And like when you said recontextualizing shit, it's like they was in the club when they was young, then they recontextualized the club to the lounge. And then they
Hmm.
recontextualized the lounge to what cruises and shit like that. Like they always gotta be outside. I asked my homegirl, she like 40 something. I said, when do black women sit the fuck down?
Yeah.
They can't, they can't, they
Girls trips, throw that in there when they get
Church,
older. Girls
mm-hmm.
trips. That's
church.
But
how
they
they
can't
reconceptualized it.
they
When they
can't
get
sit
older,
down
that's
because
what
they
they
never
all
got
do.
nowhere.
You crazy, Herb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
But
can't
you
sit
know what,
down because they
man?
never got anywhere.
You know what? As loud and wrong as Reset is most of the time, man. You know he right today, man. He right. A
is
lot of
he?
men just don't have, bro. A lot of men just don't have the backbone to tell a woman, if you're not on my program, get the hell out my life. And those are the type of guys who these older ladies will bag, man,
Well, the thing
because they
is,
don't have to change for them. They don't have to
uh,
change for them. These
Wait,
men
wait,
show up with no
wait.
demand.
but Brian, the
Hold
thing
on.
is, as a
Hold
man,
on.
you got to
Roger,
even know when.
you got
Go
somebody
ahead.
in the background trying to get in, and don't cut Brunk off when he right. Let the man talk.
No, cut me off. Cut me
Lord
off.
have
Cut me
mercy.
off. Cut me off. I don't got nothing else to say. I don't got nothing else to say to back up anything that man done said. Let's just move on. But y'all get the point.
I'm gonna say a major issue is we're not direct with our women when we're dealing with them on a face to face issue. We won't just tell them what the deal is. Most of us ain't gonna say you too old to their face. We're not gonna say you a bad mother to their face. We're not gonna tell them, you know what I'm saying, they trash in any kind of level to their face. And that's where you make impact and differences and things like that. I can, you know what I'm saying, I know women I've talked to and I told them stuff straight to their face. It changed their life. Then they ain't gonna give me credit for it changing their life, and that's okay. You know what I'm saying? But the stuff I've told them directly to their face, because I done told women what other women would say is very mean stuff, and I just told people what the truth is, because the truth helps you. At the end of the day, I'm a man. People have never had an issue telling me what's wrong with me, and I'm pretty sure y'all understand that because y'all men too. People ain't never had an issue telling us what's wrong with us. Once we hear what's wrong with us, a lot of times we be like, well, I don't really like that look. I don't like that report. So therefore I'm gonna change my action. You know what I'm saying? Women be on some I just don't want you to talk bad about me. They cool with the report. They just don't want you to say the report. But the report don't really bother them. You know, and we gotta do something different as far as this is concerned. But that's why I'm saying you gotta look at this stuff from a mental standpoint. Is she old or not? Because you can't work with old people. Have y'all heard that before? You get an old person set in their ways, you can't really do nothing with them.
Right.
It's got to be this way with them.
Yeah, here's the thing though, like you gotta have like some consequences when you do actually say that stuff. You go and you tell a woman the truth, you might just make yourself an enemy for life. And they ain't coming at you directly either. They're coming at you indirectly. There'll be people you don't even notice is coming for your neck because you just insulted some woman and you don't even realize it.
You know what is fire truth? It makes you stronger. It makes you stronger at the end of the day. We cannot stop telling the truth because what they're going to do in the response or as a response to us telling the truth. That creates more of a problem, right? Because a lot of guys are doing just that. A lot of guys are out here who won't tell women the truth about themselves because they're afraid of just that. But what is this woman going to do if I tell her the truth? How is she going to try to sabotage you? How is she going to try to do this? Oh, bro, it don't even matter, bro. Just tell me the truth, man.
Let me
I would say pick and choose when.
So earlier it was said that when Brunk is right, you gotta let him speak. I gotta offer a bit of pushback, so I'm gonna give Brunk some pushback, but I'm gonna give him a olive branch on after that. So teenage birth rate is down, so the teenagers aren't having kids anymore. That's an extra and boomer thing. Millennials and definitely Gen Z nuked that, so that's not happening anymore. But for black women in specific, they are still having their first child by the age of 24, 25 years old at 75%. So that is happening. So that's why you're running into women after the age of after the age of 25, and they've never been married, but they still got a kid or two, right? So there's that. One of the brothers mentioned DEI earlier. So tinfoil hat. This is Mr. Z in the tinfoil hat. I actually agree with you. I actually think Trump and JD Vance and them and the conservatives looked and said, wait a minute. So y'all about $2 trillion in student loan debt. That's not a joke. Student loan debt in America is almost $2 trillion. And y'all ain't having no kids or getting married. Why do we have a DEI? So that's tinfoil hat conspiracy theory though, but I'm almost certain that's some of the calculation. And what else I was gonna say? And over the age of 40 is the highest the fastest growing childbirth. So these women we're not joking, like it's not conspiracy theory on this one.
Yeah,
women are really having a kid over the age of 40. They first kid.
More 40-year-old women are actually having babies than teenage girls.
Yeah. By the way, their first kid at 40, which means that's probably going to be the only kid for like 90% of them. Remember, 90% of your eggs are gone by the age of 30 on average for women. They waiting a whole decade later to drop the first kid. Oh my God. Anyway, so I just wanted to come up and say that, and shout out to Brunk. I just wanted to just a little correction, but yeah, they still having 75% for black women at least. For black women that are going to have children, 75% of them are having their first kid by the age of 24. We're not talking about the baby deletions that they engaging in probably in their teenage years, in their early 20s. They finally just dropped the first kid by the age of 24. 75% of them, and that's all I want to say. All right, thanks.
So
Bro,
all these women at that age,
the genetics on these new kids are going to be horrible, fucking horrible. These
Man,
geriatric births,
man.
man, the genetics. Because I mean, you look at these young niggas now; they look old as shit. Look at like,
Well,
and just imagine with the next crop is coming. If women are having babies at 40 for the first time, man, we're about to get a bunch of.
so look,
hold on, real quick. I gotta say this. When it comes to, I'm gonna say this about the DEI. Yeah, it's really kind of put things together. Just like when it comes down to it, DEI is having a situation where you have the women who are going to college, right? But they're not paying off their college loans. Now you have DEI programs in order to put women in certain positions, and I'm not saying there ain't other things going on with it too, but part of it is to put women in certain positions. But then you give the women the degrees, the women aren't paying the money back. Part of this was for certain people to get richer than what they already were. So we're gonna give you some loan money, you're gonna pay us back bigger amounts of money, we get richer. Why have that system if the women not paying the loans off? Just to give y'all something to think about. You cut that off because it ain't working. It was a loan for us to get richer. We're not getting richer because they're not paying off the loans. The guys
Well,
ain't coming in paying off the loans. It's time to get rid of the program.
that's part of what I was talking about when I brought up DEI, is that they are just a net negative on the economy in almost every kind of way. They're not paying the student loans off. The jobs they're doing, most of them are not STEM, so it's not helping the infrastructure. It's not building the GDP.
Yep.
They're on all these social programs that are pulling money from our tax dollars that could be going other places doing other things, bro. They are a net negative, and the government has finally said, "Nah, we sick of that."
No.
now I gotta have a little hold on. I
My
gotta have a
point
little
goes
bit of
back.
pushback on that.
Yeah, because
We
we're
don't
not
want
saying exactly the same thing. We not. I'm saying there's always some white men in the background looking to get rich off something.
No, no, I do understand they're not getting their piece because they're not doing their part. The men in the government are not able to get their piece because they
They
got
ain't
these
paid back.
degrees and they're
Right.
not paying them back. They're not doing their part. So what they're doing is they're using all the other net negatives to use that to remove them from DEI. They just ain't see it coming.
No,
Well, remember this whole
real quick,
thing about like
go,
false
go, go.
narratives? Like, we're not going to do the whole false narratives thing. The majority of DEI, same way as affirmative action, that was mainly benefiting
White
white
women,
white
men and
women
white
white
women.
women.
and gays.
Yes,
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
that too.
here's something that and this is when we start getting into the debate of what is more valuable, right? Is the dollar more valuable than that child being born? What I would argue is what you're seeing, and this is where Mr. Z agree with the conservatives and the Republicans. That child is more important than that dollar that she's going to generate by going to the mall. That is the debate that's actually happening. And by the way, this is still tying to the main topic of Roger, that they're too old to date, to court, to do anything with, really. That child is more important than that. So what's
Yeah.
happening is you do have a class of women that are not having a child, or they're only having one all the way in their 40s, and they think that's more important than having the 2 and 3 kids in their 20s and 30s. Right? And I'll pause right there. Go ahead.
Shout out to the birth
Yeah,
defects.
yeah. And that's actually going to have a catastrophic impact on society itself. Because when you think about the next generation of retirees, you're going to have to think about seriously talking about just getting rid of Social Security altogether and a bunch of other government safety nets, because you're not going to have enough taxpayers to fund all of that because of
So
this shit.
so this is why I say procreation is important. So even if a woman can't procreate at any age, if she can procreate, that should be your main thing. Because who you think getting ready to, how do you become an old person? And now when you become old, you start now thinking about mortality. Mortality is not so morbid now. You start to think about, okay, what is the rest of my life look like? Right? What are you doing? Are you sitting cooped up in the crib trying to pay $1,300 or $5,000 a month mortgages, right? Or are you traveling the world? How you really want to live your life? And are you doing that alone, or are you doing that with someone? I found that being with someone is a lot more beneficial. Now, if we're not procreating, I mean, we're not having no kids, and if they removing kids before they can even get here, right? You know what I'm talking about. I don't even want to say it. Then now that takes our numbers down even more, especially if we say we've only about 13% of the population. And I'm just saying this is just here in America. So now it doesn't matter what everybody else do. We got to really focus on what we gonna do. Who we gonna have taking care of us? The nurses, right, and the attorneys, and these resources that we saying that these women should not have. Well, then that means we gotta I guess chisel our men to now come and take up some of these to basically fill these spots and positions that really just need to be filled. So even if they are working for someone else, they now work. We change that because now they should be somewhat demoralized even at this point. But we still, these are our women, right? I'm trying to give y'all some learning. I still got to give them a bed to land on because they still bodies. Bodies that need to learn. That's what all this is to teach them. Hey, listen, you making wrong choices. Stop. Come over here, get this game, and your life gonna be 10 times better. But if you keep fighting, right, you're gonna fight until you get old, and it's really too late.
But creator,
Once again,
outside
bro,
of elite
everything is
old
clear
rich white
and
men
bad.
who but outside of elite rich white men, and I'm talking about all the women in America right now, particularly black women, obviously. Who the hell are they benefiting outside of elite rich white men? Who are they not benefiting me and you? They're in
Nah, they
copious amounts of
costing us.
student loan
I
debt.
can't
They're
say
in
that.
credit
You know
card
what
debt.
I'm saying?
They barely can afford their student, their not their student, sorry, their car note, their condo, their home. Who are they benefiting outside of elite rich white men?
Yeah, but I'm saying at some point I'm really not that angry at my like. It's like having employees, and all I'm doing is talking shit about my employees. Right? I'm not caring about that he smoke crack when he leave here. I don't care as long as he show up Monday morning. I'm just being real. Right? That's what we care about more than anything. And these bodies need to fill up whether these are non-existent type positions.
Okay, so
Hey,
I'm
hold on,
agreeing with you
listen,
without
hold on.
go
They're
go.
extracting revenue from somewhere, is what I'm saying. Now, where that revenue go is on me. Where I direct that revenue to go is on me. And right now, there is no direction. Is what we talking about. They have no
Brother,
direction.
but creator, this is the problem. The ladies were holding black men hostage with the baby. They were
They're
holding the
not
black
holding
community.
nobody
Oh,
hostage.
wait. No, but you gotta let me because I'm going here
There's
somewhere with this.
wrong word.
Black community obligation that was in black men's minds is much of how black women were able to hold you by the balls. What you're seeing is from us in this space, and even the brothers. And this is where one of my subscribers says this all the time. There's too much pain in the system. Even the people that's not card carrying black manosphere people, the brothers are still waking up because there's so much pain in the system. The sisters were holding them hostage, holding them by the balls through that baby, through ideas of community uplift, through ideas of community obligation. The reason why you see black men letting go and critiquing black women the way you're hearing it, and I gather that you think that we're being a bit too harsh, is because of how they were maneuvering through this society. What exactly are you benefiting?
So
Yeah, what Z just
we have
described in was
women.
Hold on. One thing. But the first mistake you made, Z, was you actually took the opinion of creators actually serious. Everybody out here on this panel already know everything that comes from creator mouth is crazy. I'm gonna go ahead and be quiet and let y'all go.
Here you go.
Fuck you,
Here
nigga.
you go. Here you go.
But yeah, it's a hostage
No,
negotiation.
that's
Right.
not what I'm doing. I'm saying we can look at it. Just sounds at some point, and I'm just being real. This from me, and I'm here and I exist, so it matters. So now I hear your point, but it just sounded a little angry. That ain't how I work. If somebody doing something wrong, it's still a woman with a whole monkey that ain't nobody doing nothing with. She got a whole womb that ain't nobody doing with. She got a whole bank account that ain't nobody doing nothing with. So I'm gonna come in different from you.
That bank account got dust in it.
I'm going
cobwebs.
That bank account got prairie dogs rolling through it. What you talking about? That bank account is in the negatives, player.
and that coochie got 5 STIs in that shit. This is why I keep saying, bro. Anytime y'all listen to creator,
that
bro,
vagina
y'all
is a
be going in the
grave,
wrong
bro.
direction.
Well, I'm
That
gonna say
vagina is a grave.
that this is where y'all gotta slow down. Because at the end of the day, I get the cracking jokes and all that, but we gotta look at stuff from a mature standpoint to do anything with it. I'm gonna say when it all comes down to it, it's about who has control over. And what a lot of black men don't want to realize, before you can get to it, the white man already got control over. That's why a lot of the women that I
Thank
was
you.
saying earlier, 19, 20, 21, they already too old. Their mindset is already in a certain direction. And that mindset has
Exactly.
nothing to do with the benefit toward me or anybody
Yep.
who looks like me.
Yep.
Until I
I'm with
pull
an
up and
handout.
make that happen. Until I pull up and make that happen. I already know all of that. So
Well, I
everything that
mean,
you did,
I'm
everything that you
Now,
hold
I
on.
want y'all. I want
I'm
y'all to
From
not
a
remember this. I
woman,
want
hold
y'all.
on, from a woman to your business
You've been
to
talking, brother.
anything
You've
that
been
you
talking.
do,
You've been talking.
right?
You've been talking. That's the problem. You've
Anything
been
that
talking, bro.
you seem
no,
to always, bro. Why do
usual.
you do this?
Y'all
Every
chill. Not on air. Look, go ahead
boy,
and make your point, creator. Go ahead and make your point.
I didn't freaking forgot because this dude, man, I'm gonna be
Creator,
cool. I'm
not
gonna
on
be
You
air.
forgot
cool.
because it wasn't
Not
a good
on
Oh
point.
air.
man,
I'm gonna
bro.
respect my brother.
Not on
What's
air.
the point?
Okay, but
I just tell him to keep your
usual.
mouth
But
off me.
don't
It
don't
ain't good energy.
don't come up here to disturb somebody. If you gonna make points, just make points about the subject of the show. We don't
Exactly.
need to be making points about
Speak
people.
your piece, sucker.
I was, bro. Call me a sucker. I
Nah,
swear to you, bro.
That's how you acting. You acting like a sucker.
You can't start nothing. Then you don't want to take none. Y'all
I'll take it.
chill
I'll
that out.
take whatever.
Chill that
But
out.
don't come up here talking. Don't. That's what I'm
Not
saying.
we're on air. We're
Okay,
gonna act like
okay.
we on air, y'all.
I've
We
been
on
cool
air.
and cool. That cool and cool is no more, bro. That's out the
Okay,
way.
whatever,
So yeah.
whatever, my boy. Like I said, I gave you my number.
No. Look,
So it is what it is.
bro.
But
If
I'm
you
gonna
gonna
continue.
speak about the subject of the
I'm
show,
gonna
speak
continue.
on the
I'm
subject.
gonna continue.
If you're not,
I'm gonna continue, right? I'm gonna continue on the subject, right? The subject is simply like this, right? A contaminated mind is a contaminated mind, no different than a contaminated body, right? When you're dealing with somebody who's already been contaminated, quote unquote, white supremacy since the age of 5 and 4, you're not dealing with a normal can't quote unquote get them out of their white supremacy or whatever, right? That individual is already quote unquote sacrificed to the game. Just the same way how you got a chicken and you got your chicken and you sacrifice your chicken, right? You see what I'm saying? That chicken's life was already set apart, was already set aside before that chicken was even born. So that's what you're basically dealing with. And this situation, like I said, man, if you listen to creator, bro, you're gonna get creator kind of results. And I'm gonna leave it at that.
So listen, I don't. You can think how you want to think. I'm gonna always think how I think, right? And I'm gonna use all the resources at my disposal. If I'm going to war, right? Certainly, we know that there's a certain percentage. We already talking about a certain percentage of women. All old women ain't out in the club. All old women ain't out here trying to be pulled. Right? Most women, if you look at it, already either got somebody, whether they married or got some type of
40%
dude in their
in
life.
America have herpes, bro. I don't understand
All
what
right,
you're
we
talking
talk
about,
about,
but it's
and
okay
we
though.
can just
Just
break it
continue.
down to black women, right?
Usual. That's usual. That's a
They got,
false. That's
yeah,
a big
somebody in their
usual.
life
That's
that
a
can
big
set them
false.
up, even if they alone. Most of them been set up by a man. And ain't too many of them that just done this miraculous thing where they just did everything by themselves. It don't really work like that. They had a man in their life at some point, right? He set them up. He may have passed away. He may have moved on. You just one of 10. Now these women feeling like they can accomplish that again. Or you treated that man how he wasn't supposed to be treated, and he left. That's how most of these relationships out here is with the older women. Now the
Nah,
younger women are being taught by that woman. Hey, you don't need no
usual.
man. You don't need
mean,
this. You don't need that. So now you not only do you not have a man around, right, to resolve a lot of issues, just being a man, squash money, but just being a man. So now you don't have that. You have reinforcement of a person that's telling you you don't need that. And now you adhere to that. So then you move into the world as a 4, right? You're really a 4. But because the world says, hey, you can wear a certain costume and you might look like an 8, right?
Creator,
You behave like an 8. That is what's going on in this cycle. What's missing from that cycle? The man that can pull these women. Hold on, that can pull a woman, right? Give her some
You're
guidance.
not getting to it, bro.
Right?
You're surface level right
If
now.
she willing, give her some guidance, right? If she willing, key fact, if she willing, She can
If you
get this
listen to
game
Creator,
and
you
still
get
have a
Creator kind
better
of
life.
results, bro. This man's a level
Goodness
6
gracious.
chiropractor.
Yeah.
I said that earlier.
Yeah, Creator, you
Creator,
bugging
the
with that Creator.
what the reason why you're here is the same reason why they're not staying in those homes and being able to afford it. It's the same reason they're refusing to pay that student loan debt. It's the same reason their car is getting repoed. It's their idea of what independence, freedom, and autonomy is. The man is part of that. They can't stick to nothing, not a thing. That's why their friendships break up. That's why when they're in same-sex living relationships, they knocking each other upside the head. Air quote situation only lasts a few months. They can't stick to nothing.
All right, bro.
The
I'm gonna
man
put
is
you
just
to
a
the
part of
test.
that.
Black. You
That's what I
pull a
was saying
woman.
earlier. Go
You
ahead.
19. You 19 years old. She 19 years old. And see, hindsight is 2020, so it's kind of cheap. But I'm gonna give it to you right now at whatever stage you at right now, because Creator crazy. At 19 years old, you 19 years old. She 19.
So you mean
What
Zulu was
doing?
right?
What you doing, bro? At 19, talk to me. You pulled her, and
Bullshit.
y'all get ready to live the rest of y'all
What I
life.
said earlier, bro.
Bro, at
When you listen
19,
to
bro, I'm
Creator, you
telling
get
you,
Creator kind of results, bro.
Talk to me.
they
What's
be
By
the
the
plan?
age
gone
of
at
19,
19.
hold on.
You
I want to say this
19
real quick.
years
All right.
old, bro. You got you a
At the
woman.
age
She's
of
a great.
19, bro.
What's the plan?
At the age of 19, most women necessarily are engaging in quote unquote sexual partners up to 5 to 10 necessarily, right? Or they
No,
got
it's more than
OnlyFans,
that.
bro.
I hear all of that. Give
Hold on, let
me
me
your
finish.
plan on what you would do. That's all
Finish,
you
bro. Let me
again.
finish, bro.
Hindsight.
Let
That's
me
why I
finish.
say hindsight
Did I interrupt?
2020.
Bro,
It's
you
But
time.
got
I
Creator,
got your
that's
no
what
no
I
no wait Zulu. I
yeah,
got
that's
your
what I
answer.
was trying to
I
I
got
was
your
trying to
answer.
tell you this,
I
Creator. You
get
didn't
in where I
listen.
fit in when it comes to bedroom fun. I get in where I fit in. I build myself. I go to college if I'm going to do that. I save up some money from my little menial job if I'm going to do that to start a business. And I wait until I'm in my 30s and mess with her younger cousin. That's what I do.
That's the new Mr.
Ain't no
Z.
right or wrong answer. I just want
Thank
to
you.
hear what the fuck niggas would do. Like realistically, what are
No,
what are
that
your
wait.
plans
That
for
is what
19
men are
years
doing.
old?
If the look, if what is being produced right now is either you get super lucky and you get married in your 20s, you got divorced within 5 years, and for all the rest of us, you just gonna freestyle and do whatever. You have to appreciate what men are doing and black men are doing is responding to an environment that white elites and black women have helped to create, which is if you ain't getting married in your 20s and have a wife in your 20s, then we all freestyling. The men are responding to that environment. What you're doing is coming in on the back end and chastising the men for not having the willpower to what break this adult woman's will at 19 and 20 and 22. That's what the Roger Report is trying to tell you. If she's not marriage minded, if she don't got that mindset, if she's not trying to get on a black man's program, graduate in high school, you can't do nothing with her. Her mindset is already the bitter, jaded 45-year-old at 19 and 22. You ain't
This is why
you
I
ain't
said
gonna
earlier.
willpower her way out of that. You ain't gonna
I said
strong will her and strong her. Go.
my bad. I said unless you won't start necessarily really breaking women. When I mean officially breaking women, I mean, bro, girl, we got you on a goddamn stake and we just doing some very very ungodly things. You're not gonna change that mentality,
Look,
right?
if you
That's
ain't
why I
trying to
said
do
that.
Salem with
Hold on,
straws,
hold
you ain't
on,
gonna change
hold
it.
on. Who said that? Who just said now we talking because
Yeah,
we didn't
y'all be
say what
watching
it
them.
would
Y'all
because
watch these pimp.
that's what it gonna
Y'all watch
take
these.
to you
Y'all watch
gotta
these
be
pimp
a
movies too
man,
much, B. Y'all
right?
watch these pimp
You
movies
gotta
too
be a
much, man.
man. So
But
sometimes you can't handle it. It ain't. I'm not gonna give it to you with
But this is
soft
the
gloves.
information coming from a level 6
And
gynecologist. I keep telling y'all that. So
and
y'all
those
gotta
but
listen.
ones
y'all
that
Usual.
listen,
Stop that, bro. Stop.
yeah, I'm here
but
for
y'all
Okay,
real, bro.
this is not a place. Whether you agree or disagree, this is not a place to insult people.
all
That's
right,
not what
yeah.
the platform for. We don't need that type of confusion. Go
Can I
ahead,
get my
Creator.
2 seconds in?
Yeah.
Real quick,
So I'm
Creator.
saying, there has to be at some point you're gonna become a dad. And just like with anybody that come in my life, like I said, I can't just fire them. I look at things like employee, employer, right? And there was a point where, okay, I would hire people, and if they didn't do every little thing that I wanted, because I'm being super duper petty, I let them go. And then when I let them go so much, I didn't have nobody I'm super country. They call me Hill Jack for real. HILLJAK. You understand? That's what I'm really trying to be cool and coof. And Roger Report do allow me to get it off and be cool and coof. But when I get disrupted, yeah, it might go a little left. But at any rate, you're gonna have to know how to manage. That's all I'm saying. Whether she your bitch or not, you're gonna have to know how to manage people, because these wild animals is gonna come to you while you got a woman or while you don't got a woman. You gotta know how to, you gotta damn near be cop. Because she might be a police, she might be the nurse trying to tell you about your child, she might be the teacher, she might not even, you ain't touched her or freaked her at all. I'm saying everything can't be in your mind, that women are so terrible that you can't even communicate with them. And this is what you're gonna pass down to your boys, just like women. You get what I'm saying? You don't need no man, and then you don't need, you can do all your, hey, listen, notice she gonna be like this, right? It's automatic with all of them. I don't care what she look like or what she say and how she acting. She's this off top.
Creator.
All right. Then you hold on. Then you, if you should, I can't tell you how to raise your boys and raise your men. I know what
you
type
literally
of
just
niggas,
did.
I know what type of little niggas I raised. All right. That's what I'm just, that's all I can go by.
What I'm hearing you say, what I'm hearing you say is that what I'm hearing you say is that it is the man's responsibility to understand female nature and deal with it accordingly.
To a degree, you need to be some type of psychologist.
That's what you're saying. So there's no duty, but there's no duty. So there's no duty in your mind for the woman to understand her own nature and adapt accordingly.
Absolutely.
That's not our job.
But it ain't for me. Your job is to know everything more than the person, the people. Like, you don't choose a woman that already know everything. This is what we talking about. Old women. She's old. She thinks she know everything. She know everything based off of whatever life she done built, whatever money she got, whatever other men that she around, that she gonna compare to you, right? And if you don't feel like you measure up, that's up to you, right? I don't move like that. I don't care about you. Hold on. I don't care about, listen, I don't care about your money because it's not mine. I don't care about your men because they not me. I don't care about your daddy because he can't touch you. You understand?
Okay. This is the thing, because let's just go right to it then. And this is me still protecting the Roger Report's channel. Can we sell them which trial they asked in?
Can you say what?
Sell them which trial? Can we sell them which trial they asked? If that's what it comes down to, if you don't understand what I'm saying, if you don't understand what I'm saying,
I absolutely agree.
All right then. Okay, well,
you know what I'm saying? Now look, so now there is no soft side to the men that we are. You understand? I'm telling you exactly. I know who you are. You don't even know who you are. I know who you are in your capacity, and because you don't know who you are, I can't move like that. Because you don't know who you are, I'm gonna move like how I move, knowing what you are. That's just how any man should move. And if you ain't moving like that, what the fuck is the problem? That's the problem. You worry about how she acting and how she feel and all that shit. None of that shit matters. Use her for what it is that she need to be used for, as a resource, or shit to the pike. It's one or the other.
No. That was no, but creator. That was my question because this is what
you got a strong arm. That's why I was like, okay,
we heard you, creator. Wait, creator, because there's a reason why I asked that question, and it goes to what everybody here was saying. What you have are a bunch of UOFs. Shout out to the Roger Report, and they are contaminating the pool. There's a reason why I asked you the question about the Salem witch trials. If you just leave these didn't contribute to the black community, black men, ass women out here, they will be a detriment. They just not gonna go out into the cold night. You're not gonna just be able to push them out the door and let the winter eat them alive. If you just leave them to linger, which I think we have, unfortunately, what they're going to do is contaminate the pool. That is what is going on now. They're going to contaminate the pool. What you have now is, and this is why you had your vice president say that even before he was vice president. We have too many goddamn single cat ladies.
I get it.
The man was saying something.
Political.
Go ahead.
I'm not really political. I'm more cultural and kind of moving the flow of how we
culture is down the street from politics, sir.
I get it, and then that's your thing. That's okay. I ain't tripping. You know what I'm saying? That just is what it is. I got to deal with reality. That's where I'm at. and how I'm gonna deal with it, whether she in politics, whether she got bread, whether she ain't
That
got,
wasn't the point,
whatever it
bro.
is,
I just was
I'm
making an
gonna have to
example.
use these individuals as a resource. Humans are humans. We all have the same goddamn anatomy, right? So those things that we complaining about, what do? Kick these women to the curb, tell our boys, hey boys, you know what? It sucks for y'all, but y'all ain't gonna have no women, you can't have no bill, no legacy. We literally talking about a percentage of woman. A percentage
Wait, creator, wait, creator. That is what the environment is saying right now. Why do you think the men are responding, particularly the blondes, right? The for those of you that understand Creole and French, the non-blacks. Why do you think they're responding? Because whether they know how to articulate it or not, that is what the environment is saying, bro. You late to the game if you over here if that's what you're saying now in this late date. The
Man,
environment
listen, you can't bully
is
me
saying
into
that.
being and talking how I talk. Like, you're not gonna win no debate telling me I'm late or I'm old or did not get on
Bro,
with
you
all that.
can't pimp
I'm
talk
human.
everybody, bro. We
I'm
You okay,
human.
bro? You
I'm
wait.
human.
Do you appreciate what I just said?
Why would I have to preach? That's how you feel. I don't
No,
necessarily
no, no,
have
no.
to.
It's either I'm
I
right or I'm
feel
right.
other.
I'm right or I'm right. Feeling.
No,
Who
it's
said
right
anything
if
about
you
feeling?
feel like you right and those that support you feel like you right. That should all that be matter.
So,
If I feel
Nah,
like you right,
creator.
it don't matter.
Creator, I
bro,
think the problem is you be talking, you get on your rants, and you're not really understanding the math. Like we trying to build with it, and you're not really understanding it. I understand your train of thought, but understand your train of thought might be outdated in this
I
day and
get it.
age.
I get it.
You smell
Money
me?
is
So
old. I
what he
get it.
said is
The
what he said
Bible
is
is old.
absolute.
I get it.
No,
bro, shut up, bro.
cash is about to be old, nigga. They got things called Bitcoin and digital currency, and you still
I
running
get it.
around
Man,
trying to get you
It's
still
still
running
a
around trying
medium
to use
of
cash.
exchange. The
No,
value,
no, no.
the value,
What I'm
your
telling you
value is
is
your
don't
value.
don't let him pivot off. Don't let him pivot
Your
off of it.
value is
Y'all.
your
what I'm
value.
what
Hold
I'm
on. Let
creating.
me
What I'm
You
let,
telling you is
still determine your value, whether it's Bitcoin,
hold on,
dollar,
y'all.
whatever it is.
Yeah,
You
hold
still
on.
determine the
You
value.
off
This
topic, bro.
the
everybody
topic,
Shut
but
up,
chill.
you
Papa.
still not
Everybody
listening
chill.
to
This
what
from
I'm
Black
saying.
Hoover Strikes. He says there are going to be teachers, principals, neighbors, co-workers, churchgoers, voters. You are not just going to be able to avoid them, even if you personally choose not to have anything to do with them. And
Thank you.
the
My
point
point
is they are
exactly.
part of the society. So we are
Thank
going
you.
to
Yes.
run into these people here and there. I'm gonna say Creator has a point about you manage what you can, but I'm gonna say we also have to be realistic on how many can you manage at the end of the day, because we all gonna have a limit. We're gonna run into at some point. You know what I'm saying? How many can you manage? And I do believe what I was trying to do, was think about the mindset of the people that you're running into. I think black men just run into old
Mhm.
women mindsets, even with young girls. When we talk about young girls, we talk about
Exactly.
women that's 18,
Yeah.
19, 20, 21, 22. They
Wearing wigs.
well, my thing is they thinking like the old women because they are seeing that when they look at their elders, the women that they're gonna look at as an elder position from them, those who are 20, 30 years older than them. What are they seeing from those women? They're saying women wearing wigs. They're saying women wearing eyelashes, long fingernails, all this stuff men never asked for, but they wearing it. They're dressing up like prostitutes, you know. And they're copying it because they think that's where it's at. And at the end of the day, when you young and you 19, 20 years old, and you already done slept with 18 people, well, I'm gonna go after a rich dude. So she's not even trying to be courted when she's young. Okay. I see a lot of stuff. I can't mention all the stuff I see, but I just seen the video and I literally saw strippers complaining that they ain't making no money. Strippers, y'all. Do y'all hear what I'm saying? The lady,
Keep it going, young men.
Bro, I heard you, dog. That's
women are
wild.
coming in complaining that they're not making a certain amount of money while they're stripping. Like,
They say
why?
it's hard
Why
work.
would
It's
you
hard
even?
work taking my clothes off. It's
Why
hard
would
work.
you? No, I'm just saying. Think about the mentality of a person who would come to the
Man,
internet, social media, because this is part of where women come to vent and complain. They are venting because enough men ain't coming to the strip clubs that they can make a bag. They're salty. The men ain't coming to throw money at them. Now, black women are generally horrible to black men, just from an overall perspective. If you think about black women in politics, if you think about black women as celebrities, you think about black women on social media, and then the random black woman who has no real following, but she just complaining or whatever the case is. Black women, for the most part, ain't speaking up for black men in any kind of real way. Now, black women are complaining that the nigga they hate won't come to the strip club and throw money at them. There's something wrong with the mentality. That's not old people, y'all, as far as physical age. That's old as far as mentality is concerned.
Wait, Raj, the point you're making right now, oh man. Let's expand that out. Let me emphasize it, Raj. Let me put the exclamation point on it. Raj is not just talking about the strip club, y'all. That's no women, that's sisters in general. I hate these Negroes, but why you ain't spending though? It's so perfect. Now, I see what Raj was doing. I see what he was doing. I see what he was doing.
Because they not in the strip
That's in
club. They
general,
in
for
real
real.
life. I don't need to spend
exactly.
I'm giving her the money. What I need to give her money for, and the one that's out here is in regular clothes. You know what I'm saying? So shit. If I'm gonna spend it, I might as well, go over here to the regular clothes.
Hey, creator, what's the hottest song on the radio right now in America?
You
for the
already know.
summer
I ain't gonna say
hip hop. Thank you. And she said what in the song? She said spin that.
Yeah.
She said spin and because that song right, and y'all, somebody made mention of it earlier with the Goyard bags and stuff. I was still listening. That song perfectly it's perfectly emblematic to what Ron said about the strip club, but also what we're saying about larger society. Yes, we hate you, and this is why I say on my channel, the walking wallets and overglorified guard dogs. Yes, we hate you. Yes, we think less of you, but we still need you to spin that because, and shout out to Black Roo for being in the chat, as Black Roo has said multiple times on multiple people's platforms, somebody's gonna have to pay for these 304s. Okay. Somebody's gonna have to subsidize them.
Now let me get in here real quick because we're getting toward the end of the show. Now, I just told y'all what actual strippers were saying, and I want to make a point. These are actual strippers who work at strip clubs that was making this complaint. Okay? Actual strippers. Now, let's talk about just random hoes. Random hoes on the internet complaining that men ain't paying for them. These hoes say they hate men too. These hoes say you niggas ain't no good. You niggas is trash. You niggas won't do this. You niggas won't do that. Y'all want me to go on a date with y'all, but you won't pay for a babysitter. You want me to go on a date with you, but you won't pay for my hair. You want me to go on a date with you, but you won't pay for my nails. You won't do anything for me, but you want me to show interest in you. These are not strippers. We're getting the exact same result. And they're mad at us because we're not taking them out. Because we're not on their schedule. Now, the strippers complaining that the niggas they hate won't come spend money on them. The regular, normal woman who's not an actual stripper, she's complaining because these same regular niggas won't take on the date. Nothing about you cute. Nothing about we love y'all. Nothing about, we sorry for how we've been behaving. Nothing about we gonna treat you different. It's just we hate you niggas, but y'all still should be taking us out. These are old mentalities that are put into young women. They're coming from old women. But at the end of the day, if we're not going to acknowledge these mentalities, ain't nothing going to ever change because nothing needs to change. You don't have to fix something that's working for you. And I'm going to say as black men, if we don't like black women being this way, at some point in time, we just got to tell them the direct truth. You're just old. You're not having a problem with the dating market. The dating market is having a problem with you because you're old. And a lot of times that's going to fit because a lot of these people still trying to date are in their 30s. Now, I've said before, you ain't going to be the fan no more because I lost too many channels. I said it before, the first time I actually conceptualized 40-year-old women dating, I literally bust out in laughter because I had never had a thought about 40-year-old women dating. 40-year-old women are supposed to already be married. They supposed to have 2-3 kids already because they 40. It's supposed, realistically speaking, at 40, you're supposed to have had your kids already. You and your husband, if y'all was going to have 12 kids, you should have had basically all 12 of them by 40 years old. It's supposed to be over with.
Still running some routes.
Why are you dating at all? And you 40. Now, I understand if you had a husband and your husband died on you and you out here, you're a widow now. You may have to go back into the market. I understand folks like that. But if you a woman who does not have a dead husband, why are you dating at all? But we as men, we don't want to tell these women, go sit down somewhere. Look, if you gonna date, go get you a man who's divorced. He'll appreciate you. Other than that, go sit down. There ain't no room for you in the dating market. You in the old people section. If you want to get out here, fine, but you in the old people section. And we got to tell women stuff like that so they'll know how to operate and make some different choices before they 36 years old. That's all I'm saying. You know, but y'all, we about to hit that 3-hour mark. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna let everybody get a last statement in, and we'll shut it down. Creator, you'll go first, and we'll go along the screen. But we're gonna save the Ivy League for last place. Creator, any last comment you want to make? Creator going once?
He's all talked out.
Now he don't got nothing to say. Now he don't got nothing to say.
You might step
Hurry up
away.
and move on before he does. Hurry up and move on. Next person, hurry up and move on before he says something.
Exactly, bro. Move that shit. Move that shit. Y'all, we trying to save lost puppies. Move the shit. Move the shit.
Man,
Brock, it's on you. What you got?
man, I'm gonna say the whole notion of an old woman being an asset is just ridiculous, man. Don't play yourself. Don't get so deep in your own head that you don't see how ridiculous that is. I'm Lander.
All right, Inspired Truth.
All right. What you have here is a hostage negotiation for your future and for the future of our
Yep.
entire people. So
Yep.
make the best possible deal that you can and just act accordingly.
Okay. Appreciate you, brother. Keeping it funky.
And all I'm gonna say is you have a generation or two generations who's just been bred to be fuck buddies, and now we're being told, "Yo, you need to get married," or "What's up with marriage?" And now we just come in the we just don't know how to handle the shit. That's all it is. You wasn't never told to be about being married. Now all of a sudden everything is talking about marriage, and you're like, "Well, what the fuck?" And from both sides, men and women, and just gonna have to figure it out at the end of the day. Teach the youth, teach the truth to the young black youth.
All right. Black in Effect.
Thanks, Raj. And going to what the brothers said, hostage situation. Shout out to Inspired Truth. I agree with that 100%. And going to what Keeping It Funky just said about the marriage. That was a window that Xers got to enjoy. Really, young boomers got to enjoy. Xers got to enjoy. Some of the oldest millennials got to enjoy. That's a window that's closing with inflation. The price of things that is you. Ain't people ain't gonna be able to freestyle like that no more. Now it's about structure again. Number one. Number two, it is a hostage situation. Remember, 60% of people, men around the planet, did not procreate, and these women is trying to bring us back to that with their nihilism. That's their version of nihilism, everyone. Don't fall for it. Find you somebody, if you can find somebody who's on your program, grab her hand and run for your life. Run for the hills, keep her away from her weirdo friends. And I'll pause right there. Thanks for having me up, Raj, and thanks for making me the sponsor of the show. Y'all have a great day. Mr. Z out.
Usual business.
All right, I'm gonna say a couple things. I keep saying, I keep teaching, if you can't find old housewives, you
You too
gotta
low,
find
bro.
third generation.
Nigga on L Mobile.
My man, you can't turn old hoes into a housewife, right? That's the saying that people say, right? What y'all are out here trying to do is turn the brothel madam into the top housewife of the world. That's not gonna happen, bro. So at the end of the day, black men must do what, or men in general must do what is necessary, which is finding women who are actually wives, taking those women and making wives out of them. If you can't do that, you fuck. That's all I got to say.
All right. Great Black Reset.
Uh, long time ago, man, one of our presidents said we do not negotiate with terrorists. I think we need to follow that model, bro. We should not be negotiating with these terrorists, man. Get your passport and go to better places, man, and get better women. It's over with these chicks, man.
So with.
I pass the
So
mic.
with.
All right. We're gonna give it to Sire, my brother. Get your own. Uh-oh. Sorry, my brother. Get you on. It's on you. Going once. Going twice. He gonna be salty. Okay. Well, guess what, y'all? I'm gonna say it like this, y'all. It's our job as men to let women know the marrying age is 22 and down. That's what we want. Stop worrying about what they want. What they want counts when they decide that they're willing to take care of men, which so far I've asked plenty of them, and 100% of them said no. I don't want to take care of a man. Yes, I literally asked women, would you be okay taking care of a man? And 100% of them say no. So why are we trying to do it based on their terms? That doesn't make sense. If they're not willing to be on your terms, ain't no point in you worrying about them. And what happens to them, just let it happen. When they figure it out, they'll figure out what to do. It's that simple, y'all. Can't save everybody. Why try? Y'all have a good rest of y'all day. Well, no, if you're new here, subscribe to the channel. If you want to get in on the most powerful conversation that you made to get in on, they're gonna be right here at the Roger Report Live, because we don't take it where it's politically correct. We take it where it needs to go. So we're gonna do this every day, Monday through Fridays, 9 a.m. Chicago time, not where you happen to be. Long live the habitual line steppers. I'm Roger. I'm right, and I'm out.